It's my death now. Oh. What's up, ni hao? Oh, no mic. That's okay. No worries. Yeah, I'm okay. What's up with you? Hello, Carrie. Just trying to get people in there. That's good. Well, I'm here now. Other people are coming as well. So don't you worry. We're gonna get them. Carrie, I'm eating a burger. I'm eating a burger. Because I don't want to die in the middle of this live stream. By the way, can you hear my fucking... the construction outside? They're really outstaying their welcome. This construction people. It's been months. And they haven't progressed much. I don't know if they're looking for gold or something. No idea. This burger, by the way. The macros are shit, but the taste is mwah. I'm drinking a caramel biscuit flavored protein shake. That's cool. You can't hear construction. That's good. Holy shit, is it like modern miracle? Because it's fucking me up. It's been waking me up every single day as well. How I'm not dead yet, I don't know. I have an issue, Carrie. I bought new soy protein. And I didn't notice that it was sweetened with sucralose. And now when I make protein shakes with banana, which is how I'm used to do it, it doesn't, it's too sweet. So now I don't know what I can put in a shake, in a morning shake, instead of a banana. So it's not as fucking sweet. Otherwise it's terrible. It's like, oof, the sweetness is killing me. I'm not very sweet person, so sweet flavor, don't really like it when it's too sweet, you know. So if you have suggestions for what I can do, or I can put in there, instead of a banana, don't say greens. Greens are gross. It's also like a chocolate flavored protein, so it's not gonna work with greens. Yeah, I wouldn't add banana, just have it plain. But I want some sustenance in there as well, not just the fucking protein. I don't know, I want some creaminess to it. And adding just peanut butter is not gonna cut it, because then it like perks up calories like crazy. No, but I'm used to, you know, I'm used to doing it without the flavor. Without the sweetness. So usually I buy soy protein powder from iHerb. And it doesn't have any sweet flavor. It doesn't have flavor at all. But this time I was like, oh shit, I'm running out of powder. I probably should buy something local. It was only sweet options. I don't adulterate my food like that kind of orgy. I don't understand what you're saying, Carrie. That's funny. Well, My skin has been going crazy as well lately. I'm having an allergic reaction to something, but I have no idea what. Maybe I should go on a carnivore diet and find out to eliminate all foods. Joking. Did you like yesterday's stream, Carrie? Putting a banana in the chocolate with them touching each other. Oh, funny. No, I like the two flavors together. It's just the sweetness that is the problem. To balance out yesterday's stream, I should probably do like why I'm no longer carnivore stream. Right. So nobody's in the Discord yet, so that's why I'm chatting with Carrie. Where is everyone? Well, once we start the Discord thing, people will show up. It doesn't matter. This is, people can catch up on it later as well. It's actually preferable to me that people watch it after the fact. Oh, somebody's in. Hey, what's up?
How are you, postmortem?
Yeah, Vanish Man, wanted to talk to you. Can you remind
Yeah,
me why you
I
are not
was.
vegan? Why are you vegetarian?
Hmm?
Can you remind
Yes,
me
yes.
why you're not vegan?
Let's not talk about that right now.
What do you
What
mean?
have
This
you
is the
eaten?
vegan channel. What the fuck else are we gonna talk about?
Oh, we'll talk about veganism.
Yeah.
So, what have you eaten today?
Sorry?
What have you eaten today?
Oh, I'm eating a vegan burger right now.
Vegan burger.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, how is vegan meat created? Do you know that?
Sure. Yeah. They put a bunch of protein-rich stuff in it. They put a bunch of flavoring, a bunch of filling, probably something to like bind it all together, like something like methyl cellulose. And there you
I
go,
see.
vegan burger. Good shit.
I see. So, does it taste similar to meat?
Yeah, kind of. It tastes similar to like a cheap burger, which I love anyways. So when before I went vegan, that's the shit that like actually caught my attention. The hot dogs, the cheap burgers. So yeah, delicious.
I see. I see. Mm.
But it like doesn't matter. I'm not expecting it to taste exactly like meat.
Yeah, we doesn't eat burgers in our day-to-day life, anyways.
Yeah, it's delicious. Like, that's all it matters. The proximity of its flavor to actual beef burger is not compulsory to me. I don't need it. Nobody needs it.
I see. I see.
What's up, Torque?
Torque.
It's a postmortem.
Yeah, I'm alright. You?
So guys, i- if I eat eggs, am I vegan?
No. In most cases.
What?
That
Okay.
there could be like a magical egg that you found in the middle of the forest and you sat there next to the egg for like 3 days and you've seen that nobody's coming back for this egg and nobody wants it, then you can take it and eat it. And then it would be vegan and moral. But outside of that, no. Eggs are immoral, incredibly immoral.
Okay, then I'll never be vegan.
Why? Because you want eggs?
Because I eat eggs.
Yeah,
And I
isn't it?
can't
Yeah,
live
isn't
without
it
them,
weird
yeah.
though that like you're saying, well, this is what I'm doing, and I'm saying, well, what you're doing is immoral, and then you're saying, well, then I'll never be moral, instead of saying, well, then I'm stop doing the immoral thing so that I become more moral. It's kind of weird, right?
I can't live without eggs.
You can't live without eggs. What is it in eggs that you need to live?
Protein.
You can't get protein anywhere else.
Can get with meat.
Well, you can do what I'm doing right now and eat like a vegan burger. There's protein in it. There's more protein in it than in
I don't
eggs.
think so.
So,
What is vegan burger, bro?
it's like there's like mushrooms there for flavor, and then there's like I don't remember. I think like soy for protein, and like flavorings to make it taste like a little bit more like beef. Delicious.
Okay, have fun eating those.
Yeah, instead of eggs, right? Because it's immoral.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think eggs are immoral?
No,
Oh, how did you reach that conclusion?
because they're eggs.
Yeah,
They don't have
that's
life.
just saying the name of the thing. It's not saying why eggs are immoral. Oh, moral.
It's like they
Yeah.
don't have life.
Yeah, eggs themselves
not
don't have
killing
life,
eggs.
but the hens who lay them have, like sentient life. They are sentient.
Yeah, but I'm not eating chicken.
Yeah, but you're like causing the hens to be locked up in cages so that you could eat eggs.
Okay, but I'm not eating them.
Yeah, but you eating the eggs, so you pay the people who lock up hens in cages so that you could eat eggs. That's how it works. Like it's a
That's
cause and
not
effect.
my problem.
Well, only if you will like resign to being immoral, then it's not your problem. But like if you want to be moral, then it should be a problem. You're paying for something immoral.
Yo, I don't have control over what other people do, so
Well, of course you do. You can give them money to do this immoral thing, or you cannot give them money to do this immoral thing.
come on.
Yeah, did you know, like, for instance, that in order to lock up hens, they need to hatch first, like, a bunch of baby chicks, and about 50% of those baby chicks are male. And what do they do with them? Well, they throw them in a macerator. It depends on location. Sometimes they just throw them in a trash bag and let them suffocate because you can't use them for eggs. So about 50% of egg-laying hens or egg-laying chickens, right? They can't lay eggs, so they're killed on the first day of life. They're sentient. That's what you're paying for. When you say, I want eggs. For unnecessary protein, you can get protein somewhere else.
Okay. I think
So are you
I will
resigning to
never
being
be
moral,
vegan.
or are you gonna like think, okay, I'm doing an immoral thing and maybe I should stop?
That will never happen to me because I can't live without them.
So you're
I said
resigning
it
to be
already.
immoral because I proved to you that you can. You can get
Yeah, but
protein
that's
somewhere
not
else.
immoral according to me, so
Well, it's immoral simplicity, right? Let's see if it was happening to
maybe
like.
it's moral to you.
Well,
It's
let's see.
not to me.
Yeah, let's check it out. So, Torque, if instead of egg-laying hens, it was egg-laying dogs, right? And in order to produce this food for you, dogs were locked up in cages for the rest of their lives, and 50% of them were killed on the first day of life as puppies, and the other 50% were killed after 2 years. After being in cages for 2 years, they were killed. Would you say that's a moral act to do, to pay money to the people who do this?
But dogs do not lay eggs, so
Yeah, just go with it. They don't lay eggs. They can produce other food, right? You can produce food with dogs, using dogs. So if in that scenario, to produce the food that you like, that you want, that you're claiming fallaciously that you can't live without, 50% of puppies were killed on the first day of life. And by the way, that's billions a day or millions a day. And the other 50% were locked up in cages for 2 years, and after that were killed. Would you say it's a moral act to do, to give these people money?
no.
No. So what is
Come
the
on, man.
Yeah, so what is the morally relevant difference between a dog and a chicken? That it's totally immoral to do this to a
Chicken.
dog, but it's moral to do to a chicken.
Ah, ah, yeah, you have a point, but yeah,
Yeah, so I was right on. You are more willing to resign to being an immoral person than you are to like just like changing your habit a little bit and become a more moral person.
we all die, so
Sorry, we all die. So is it
not
okay for
a
me to kill you now?
yeah, it's not a problem for me.
Yeah, of course it's not.
I
You are
think
not the
I
victim.
might as well live
Yeah,
how
you're
I
not the
want.
victim. You're not the victim of your actions. Like if you were the one locked in a cage, I bet you would be like crying tears.
So, do you think a cat has a right to kill a bird to live? Or
I mean, if we can make a cat live without killing a bird, I think we should. I don't think it's a good thing that's happening. It's not a moral or
really?
immoral thing, though, because cats don't have morals. But if you are caring for an animal and you have the ability to prevent them from killing birds, then you should.
Every human beings are animals,
So,
so
do you think if we can prevent cats from killing birds, we should do that?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
So, and you, how to say?
Look, this is very simple, right? Just put
Okay.
yourself, hold on, put yourself or even put your favorite animal in the place of the
Okay.
bird. And then tell me if it's moral. If it's like
Yeah,
okay,
it
not
will.
if it's moral. Morality is for humans.
Yeah. So, as a human, we were a food for big cats, if you don't know.
Yeah. So if a
And
lion was
it's
about to kill you, and I have a gun for some reason, right? Should I save you? Should I like shoot the lion or something, or stop the lion somehow else to save you, or should I let the lion just eat you?
no, because we're human. You are related to me, so I will save you.
Well, I
But
don't. Yeah, I don't think
if
that's a.
it's just nature,
Yeah.
go
So
ahead.
here's the thing, right? You're still not thinking of the victim. You're still not thinking of the bird. So the fact that I'm related to you, you think that obliges me to save you. But I think what obliges me to save another creature is their sentience, is the fact that I have the ability to experience life and feel pain and feel pleasure and all of those things, right? They have like a full gamut of emotions running around in their head. They have like a very heightened ability to experience life. Birds have that.
Uh,
Humans have that. Dogs have that. Chickens have that.
If you will save every creature from their his predator, there will be no life on Earth.
Well, I don't think that's true. Like, there would be more life on Earth.
More life?
If you save a bird from a cat, that bird is going to continue living. They're going to reproduce. They're going to create more life. They're going to be more life.
Okay,
Yeah.
what about birds that eat worms?
Sorry, can you first admit that you were wrong and that if we save animals from predators, there would be more life on Earth?
I said if the bird was the bird got if the bird gonna eaten by the cat, the bird probably will eat a worm someday,
Okay.
and so you will prevent the bird from eating the worm.
I don't think so because worms, I don't know if they're sentient. So if worms are sentient, then definitely we should feed birds something else and not like sentient creatures. But we don't know. I don't know. I can't say we don't know. I don't know if worms are sentient. So
So do you think these we follow this circle, so the bird eats the worm eats, I don't know, like if we go up like until the big cats, should the big cats go vegan?
Well, they can't go vegan because they can't, supposedly yet, at least, think about
Okay.
morals in a deep way. What they can do is, if we force them to do it, is become plant-based, definitely.
Okay, interesting.
But that's like incredibly beside the point. So this is like a interesting conversation that I have every single day. But like, we should probably talk about like your ability to stop exploiting and slaughtering animals. Your ability is incredibly much higher than that of a cat and a lion.
Okay, do you think back then the normal human is more vegan or more get to eat animals?
Sorry, what's the question? I didn't understand the question.
Back then,
What
do
do you
the
mean back then?
human,
In the past? In the past?
yeah, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I don't care. Like what people were doing in the past is not of a concern to me. What of a concern to me, what people are doing in the right now and in the future. So it doesn't
Okay.
really matter what people used to like try to survive in a way that is like incomprehensible to us modern people, right? It's incomprehensible to us that you have to like go and like hunt an animal or go gather food from just whatever grows in the wild, and you eat this absolutely disgusting raw unsalted food just to fucking survive, right? It's starvation in a way that none of us know. And I know what starvation is because I grew up in a way that like sometimes I had a lot like lack of food as growing up. But I still can't comprehend how it is to be like our ancestors. So we shouldn't look at them for like morality questions, right? Or even like practicality questions. We have so many things available to us to fix like our food system right now. I don't know why we shouldn't just by looking at the past. It's weird. What's up, Cheap?
Hello. I was listening. I didn't want to interrupt.
That's right.
Seemed like a good conversation.
Is it? I'd prefer having a conversation about veganism.
Is it just
Yeah.
the fact that we did it in the past? Was that the whole justification for it? That we did it once, therefore we should continue doing it?
Yeah. So, Kader, today,
Yeah.
as you and not as people in the past, what prevents you from being vegan?
Nothing. Just enjoying eating.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. What if I told you you can actually derive a lot of joy from eating just plants, and even more joy from like just not paying for animals to be stabbed in the throat?
Nah, impossible. Vegan food
you
doesn't
really like
taste good.
stabbing animals in the throat? Is that it?
I mean, not
Yeah. Hey,
that, but
it,
Yeah, well, that's
steak
the result
tastes
of
good.
it, right? Yeah, it tastes good, but I'm just saying, what if I told you, yes, animal flesh tastes good, but what if I told you you can derive pleasure from eating non-animal corpse, and you knowing that animals weren't stabbed in the throat for it?
so wait. Did you go vegan because you care about animals' life?
Yes.
Not life specifically, like sentience, and even like, okay. So I care about not causing the exploitation and killing of animals by my actions. Some of those actions you can't really fix right now, right? but others you can. You can not pay directly for exploitation and slaughter of animals.
Well, what about dairy and egg? Do you
Yeah,
eat
that's
them?
yeah, that's exploitation, and that also causes slaughter in the end. So dairy is it's one of the most torturous industries, I think, in the world. Dairy is like the most animal abuse. Maybe eggs are worse, but like dairy is like right up there. It's really, really terrible for the animals. It's animal abuse pure, and it's exploitation. So on the moral level, it's really problematic, even if there wasn't abuse. And it's also slaughter, because when animals stop being able to become pregnant, they're sent to slaughter to become beef. Chip, can you take over for like a minute?
Yeah, sure. Do you have any other
Yeah.
questions? Veganism, like I mentioned, like I'm assuming you think it's a diet, but as you've been explained, it is not. It's a moral principle, and the diet is merely a consequence of it.
Yeah, it's definitely a moral principle, but I don't find animals' life to be that important to me.
Do you find my life to be that
Subjectively.
important to you? Like subjectively, if I die tomorrow, will you even know? Will you even care?
Yeah, because you're
You?
human.
I mean,
Yeah,
you as a
me.
person.
Yeah, me. Let's put it this way. One of my friends dies tomorrow. Would you even care?
You mean your friend or my
Like
friend?
friends, or
I said one
you,
of my friends. My friends. One
you
of my
I
friends
don't
dies
know you,
tomorrow.
so
Would
I
you even
wouldn't
Not
care?
care.
not much.
Yeah,
I don't want to
exactly.
sound
So
disrespectful, but
no,
not
no.
much.
I completely agree with you. There's no reason why you would care. So then the fact that you don't care about them does not mean you get to exploit them or pay for them to be exploited. Would you pay for my friends to be enslaved and murdered?
Because you're human. Did you
No,
get the point?
because your friend is a human and human life. I find human life to be more important. Like way more,
What if
way,
I told you
way,
my
way
friends
more
are not
important.
human? My friends are not human. What about that?
Then I don't care. Then, like if your
Then you
friend
don't care.
is a pet, or
No,
I don't really
no.
care.
They walk like human, they behave like humans, but they're not of the species humans. They're a different type of
Nah,
humanoid.
nah. There is no
What do you
such
mean?
thing.
Do you know that there were
Aliens.
multiple types of humanoids on this planet at some point? Do you know there was Homo erectus, Homo neanderthalis, Homo denisovans? All of these were different species of humanoids. They weren't the
Okay.
same species as us humans. So if my friends, we find out that genetically they are more closely related to Denisovans, and they are not even closely enough related to humans. They're basically a different type of humanoids. Would you say then it's okay to exploit and slaughter them?
No, it's not even
No,
a
because
real
a human noise
example.
is kind of human.
I'm merely asking a hypothetical. I never said this hypothetical is real. I'm asking a hypothetical, and the purpose of a hypothetical is to test your moral principles in situations that you have not been maybe so far. So if you are in a situation where a seemingly human
Yeah,
person in front of you
I've
looks
not
human,
been,
behaves human,
and I
speaks
would
like a
not
human
be.
being, but they are not of the species human, would you then be okay with exploiting and slaughtering them?
I would definitely care more if they can speak and if they look like human. I would definitely subjectively feel more sympathy for them.
Holy shit.
So let me put it this way. So okay, but what if they cannot speak? What if they're mute? They're also, you know how we have mute humans? They're of that species that
Yeah.
they are at, but they're mute. Would
Okay,
you then
so
say it's
give
okay
me,
to exploit and slaughter them?
but give me a reason to.
No.
Okay, there. Can you wait for a second? Because we were talking now to Xiong Ling, and I think it would be nicer to finish one conversation before we start another.
I think
So,
we are in the same side, so we can talk to.
sure. So Xiong Ling, as I was asking, if they were a different species and they were mute, still look like humans, still behave like humans, would you think it's okay to exploit and slaughter them?
No.
No. So do you think it's okay to discriminate on someone based on how they look like and behave like? Because that's how it seems like you're discriminating, right? Because the minute that they look like humans, you seem to think that it's okay, they shouldn't be exploited. But the minute they stop looking like humans, you seem to think it's okay to exploit them. All of it, by the way, for optional products.
Yeah, I mean, human is a emotional animal, isn't it? Like I definitely feel sympathy if they look like human, I mean, talk like human. And I feel less sympathy if they are,
Like a dog.
yeah, I mean, and it also depends. If I know this dog, if it's like I know this dog for years, I definitely don't want this dog to be killed. But
Yeah,
if
do you think,
it's like,
Xiong, do you think that's a good justification for killing somebody? Oh, I don't care much about them. I don't care much about them. Therefore, yeah, it's fine. Fuck him.
I'm not saying it's a justification. I'm not saying that
Well, that's what we're
I just don't
asking
want
for.
to.
Yeah, so here's the thing, right? You are going through is versus ought dilemma here. If you allow me 1 second, I'm sharing a screen. If you look at it, right? So is versus ought is a statement. If you're making an is statement, it is a statement of fact, right? So that's the reality. That's what's happening right now. But we are trying to have a conversation with you about morality. So putting is statements in the conversation about morality is kind of weird, because what it creates, it kind of changes the subject. So if you make an is statement just talking, well, it is what it is, that's what I'm doing, so therefore it's fine, right? It's not, let's not talk about. But also you're like diffusing your responsibility, right? We're trying to have a conversation whether something is moral or not, whether something is okay or not. So the question is, if you have two possible worlds and you can choose one of them, in one world we slaughter animals for unnecessary stuff, in the other world we don't slaughter animals for unnecessary stuff. Which world is morally better, do you think?
Slaughtering animals.
You think slaughtering animals is a morally better world?
Yeah.
No, I think they are all the same.
So,
No, because how can you have pet cats if you can't slaughter animals? You need to slaughter chickens to have pet cats, and the best world is a world with pet cats. So
I have no idea
Mako,
what you
can
just
you
said.
wait for a second? Because we were talking to Xiongling and then you can jump in. Otherwise, the whole conversation doesn't make sense anymore. So, Xiongling, you said that they would be equal.
Yes, I think I don't. Here's the thing: morality is a subjective thing. Like every person has slightly different morality, and every culture, every region has different morality, right?
So,
There's no further to discuss here. Like you find killing
sure.
animals
But
to
like,
be
I
immoral. I
understand.
don't find it
No,
to be immoral.
I understand what you mean. But let's test that if you really don't find it to be immoral. Okay, so you say killing animals is not immoral. Do you think there's any reason where killing animals would become immoral? Like if I do it for pleasure, would killing animals for pleasure be immoral?
If you're killing an animal and not for
According to your values, by the way.
okay, so if you're killing animals just because it's fun, like it's fun to kill animal, then I think it's isn't immoral. Yes.
It isn't.
Why?
Are you saying it is or it isn't? I'm not understanding that.
I think it is not moral to kill an
So it is
animal for
okay.
fun.
Okay, so killing an animal for fun is immoral. How about if I kill an animal for something that I don't need? Like let's imagine I want to kill an animal so that I can make a vase out of their body. A vase is where where you put flowers in.
I don't understand
Okay, but
what's a thought.
So I
that's
want
not
to
the same.
so Kader, you gotta stop for a second. So Xiongling, I am going to kill an animal. I'm gonna take a dog, kill them, empty out their insides, and put use their whole skin with extra material. I don't know, maybe some cement or something to make a vase. Where I use it's just like an object, a decorative object that I put around my house. Would that be moral?
It's not moral, but it's better than the last one.
So it's not moral. Okay, it's still not moral.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand. Okay, so if I kill an animal for something that I don't need, like a decoration, you think it's still immoral.
Yeah, but yes.
So what if I kill an animal for something that I don't need, that is not food, but like I just like to chew on their bones. I don't get nutrition from it. I just like the taste of their bones and I like chewing on their bones. So I kill them, I chew on their bones, and then I toss them away. Is that moral or is that immoral?
Still, it's better. It's almost moral, I would say.
So it's still immoral.
Yeah, but it's
But
getting
what
there.
if all of a sudden I accidentally, while chewing on that bone, I accidentally swallow a little piece of it, then it becomes moral.
Nah, because bone has no.
You're again doing the
No
is
nutrition.
ought thing. You're again just saying, well, this is what is, right? And Chip is trying to talk to you about the morality of the thing. So you
I mean,
can,
for
can
me,
you,
it is.
So can you please like disregard whether you can swallow a bone or not and just like address the actual fucking question?
Yeah, I just theoretically, and maybe I get some nutrition from it. It doesn't really matter. I'm sure bones do have some form of caloric value there. So
I mean,
let's assume
yes.
that, yeah. So if I part of it goes into instead of chewing it, part of it goes through my throat, and my body starts digesting it and all that. Does that mean that everything that I did to that animal all of a sudden becomes moral?
Again, I don't find it to be. I don't feel like it's moral.
Okay. So then what if from the beginning I chew that bone and I swallow it? Does it become moral then?
Based on what your intention, because it's a feel. It's like I say, it's a subjective thing. If you say that the purpose of you doing this is to get the, let's say, calcium from the bone, then I would say that, yeah, let's go ahead. You need some
So my
calcium,
intent is
yes.
what matters. My intent is what matters.
Your intent is what matters to my feeling of what's moral or not.
Okay, but if my intent is to kill the animal for whatever reason, maybe it's an optional food, maybe it's decoration. My intent is still killing an animal, is it not?
Yes.
So then why is it that the intent to kill an animal all of a sudden becomes moral or immoral, given that you say that intent matters? Like if intent matters, then the same intent in different contexts or in different situations regarding of the reason shouldn't matter, should it? According to your own values.
Again, yes, because it's my feeling. I feel like it doesn't matter. That's it. I'm not saying that it makes sense, because moral doesn't really make sense.
Oh my god, does it
No.
not? Sorry.
Yeah, morality. Yeah, go on. Explain, Vivian.
Well,
Morality.
intent is the difference between murder and manslaughter.
Yeah,
Sorry?
let's finish conversation with Xiong. Wait, 1 second, because I'm not.
Well,
that window
your
with
your
Xiong
vegan
name.
friend's
I mean,
allowed to interject, so why am I not
Let me
allowed to
ask you a
interject?
question. Do you find human life to be even just slightly important than animal life?
Even slightly more important than animal life. So I'll explain to you very simple
Do you find the
principles of the
important?
morality that I'll explain to you the principles of morality that I go by. I don't think that the value system that I give to individuals, whether they're human or non-human, and that means animals, I don't think that my value system, the value that I give to them, matters whether I choose to exploit and slaughter them or not. My value system does say something, and it would probably say that if I would be in a burning building, I would probably pick the individual who is on top of my value system based or over somebody who is lower in my value system. However, just because I have this value system where I categorize people or categorize individuals, where I say, well, this one is more important than this one for me, it doesn't mean that all of a sudden I get to decide which one is deserving of life or not because I place less value on them. Just like how when I asked if you would place if you would place any value on my friend who you don't know, which you probably wouldn't place any value on, that does not give you the right to exploit and slaughter my friend because you gave them zero value. And it seems like that logic works for you when it comes to humans. But all of a sudden, if that human was born a slightly different, genetically different, and they're no longer human or something, then you seem to think that all other morals go down the window. It doesn't really matter if this individual has emotions. It doesn't really matter if this individual feels. It doesn't matter if this individual thinks. To you, if they're not in the category that you are in, you seem to think it's okay to exploit and slaughter them, right?
Is it a matter of knowing or is it a matter of intelligence?
Yeah,
what
Would
do
you
you mean by that?
rather save one meat eater or 500 chickens?
So what was that question about? If it's a matter of knowing or a matter of intelligence?
Yeah, like how would knowing your friend have to do with anything?
Well, the reason why I said that you don't know my friend, the reason why I posed that hypothetical is because I can show you that you have humans in your value system that you place zero value on them. And I put it as a hypothetical as my friend because I could have also just said any random stranger on this planet. You probably wouldn't know and wouldn't really care, and you would probably give them zero value to them. So that's why I posed that
Doesn't
hypothetical.
human
It's not
life have
about you
value
knowing
on its
them.
own?
Say it again.
I'm not saying that your friend has zero value. I think it's still important than animals.
Kader, can you mute yourself, please? It's like making a sound, Kader. Kader? Thank you, I appreciate it.
So Xiongling, do you understand the perspective that it doesn't really matter what value I place on individuals? It's what matters is the value that they have themselves on account that they feel, that they emote, that there is somebody, that there's a somebody behind those eyes, that there's a person who has experiences throughout their life, subjective experiences, to be more
So
precise.
how does this correlate to animals?
Well, animals are exactly in that position. Animals are individuals who feel, who emote, and who are somebody who have experiences throughout their life. That's why they have anxiety. Do you know why animals have anxiety? Because they have experiences that generate anxiety for them, much like we as humans do.
Something I completely agree with you on is the meat industry is obviously horrible. You know, it's obviously dog shit. But
Yeah,
do you
I agree.
think meat is fine if the animal is killed in a moral, just way, without disease, with free roam? Do you think the meat is morally justified then?
So let me see if I get this straight. Are you saying there's a happy animal, they were treated nicely,
Yes.
and all of the sudden you're asking me if this happy animal were to be treated nicely and they lived a happy life, would it be okay to slaughter them for optional products?
And then you kill them without pain.
For optional products again.
For products, indeed.
For optional products.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then I'll ask you this
Every
question
product's an
again.
optional product.
They're being farmed and herded, and
So then let me ask you
they're
this
being killed
question. Do you think
painlessly.
I'll answer your question with another question. Do you think it's better to kill a happy animal who wants to live, who lived their life nicely, or do you think it's better to kill a sad animal who had a
Happy
shitty
animal.
life? It's better to kill a happy animal.
Mhm.
I mean, you're gonna kill them anyway.
I mean,
so why
Yeah.
not let them have
they
a
don't,
happy
they don't,
life
they
and
don't
kill
have
them?
they don't have the intellectual capacity.
It seems like let me see if I get this straight. Are you saying to me right now that you, as a human being, have all the capabilities that you have are due to your intellect?
The only
Yeah,
reason we've
Yeah.
got this intellect is because we eat meat in the first place.
Again, I'll ask the same
That's a
question
good
again.
point.
I won't ask the same question again because you heard it. I'm just looking for the answer. Do you think that everything that you are as an individual, your whole value comes from the fact that you have cognitive abilities?
But isn't that what being conscious is? Cognitive abilities.
And
No,
part of it
being
is
conscious means you're
Posturing.
sentient.
That's how we rank each other financially, is it not?
So
I
I
mean-
ask again, do you think that your moral value comes from
Cognitive-
the knowledge that you
Cognitive-
have
Why
from the
do we
individual?
eat? Then why is eating plants okay? Because they don't feel pain, right? They lack that cognitive.
We can
ability.
go down that route. I would like you to answer my question. Do you think that your cognitive abilities should say whether you are deserving of life or not?
I would say it puts a bigger importance on your life. Just like you're
So
saying
you're saying,
how your friend or any other human being who has the intellectual capacity to feel pain and to want to keep on living.
so you're saying that somebody who is intellectually superior to you has more value to live, right? And somebody who's intellectually inferior to you, and then you.
Yeah, because you have a bigger impact on humanity.
And it's also cognitive. It's not just intelligence. It's cognitivity and intelligence.
No, I think as long as you're human, you are more important. Doesn't matter your IQ.
It just seems like I'm getting completely different answers from everybody, and all that I'm
Oh
looking
no,
for
because we all
is
agree on
trying
those
to
this is a
points. Like, if you're
discussion,
human,
man.
you're
This is
more
not like a
important than any other
Mako,
species.
Mako,
If you're
Mako, you gotta
cognitive, you're
shut
more
up.
smart.
Mako, you gotta shut up because you're interrupting every
Yeah,
conversation.
what's
You're making every conversation become extremely difficult. So please
but
shut up so
vegan,
we can have the conversations and get to your point. Go
Mr.
on. Sorry.
Vegan, this is a discussion. Everyone's gonna have different points.
That's not the point. You can have different points. That's not
Of
the point.
course.
But wait,
But you were
wait
just
to have the
complaining.
conversations one after the other. Otherwise, the conversations are just gonna become berserks. Okay. So we come back to the same argument. Do you think that your value comes from what you know?
Is it what you know? Is it how much you can cognitively like understand about the world?
Whatever. Ask whichever.
I mean, intelligence and that is not the same thing. A
Whichever.
person
There's
with
no
a person
objective
with a
definition
low
of intelligence
a
anyway, so that's
person
pretty
with lower
subjective,
IQ
so
and a
it doesn't
person with
really
a higher
matter.
IQ, the same cognitive abilities, not the same intellect, but like the same cognitive abilities, right?
Do you think that your value comes from your cognitive abilities? There you go. I asked it again
Yes.
in a nice way.
Yes.
Okay, so if you were born intellectually challenged, that you would have zero value, right? Because your cognitive abilities would be that of an animal.
It depends on what cognitive abilities you have left.
So if
Let's
you
say
wait,
let's say this
if you
person's
go
of
into an accident, you hit your head, and all of the sudden, all your cognitive abilities go away, and all of the sudden, you are nothing more but an individual who can have emotions but cannot possibly speak, cannot possibly communicate, and cannot possibly ration. That has happened. You acknowledge that there are people who have suffered through that.
can't rational like I can rationalize.
No, you cannot.
Then I would want my body and my things to be given to the people who deserve it. Why am I alive?
No. What I'm asking is, do you think you have moral value in that situation? You are still alive. You just don't have the rationalization capabilities I'm not sure about your rationalization capabilities even now, given that you don't seem to understand the point. But like,
I'm just talking to you, man. Why are you attacking me? I'm just talking to you, man.
I'm just saying,
you.
you seem to think so highly of your cognitive abilities when at the same time you don't seem to understand the difference between cognitive abilities and intelligence, and like you just keep mixing them up. Say it again.
I'm trying to talk to you, bro. I'm trying to attack you. I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm discussing
Sorry.
with you. I'm very open to these ideas.
Vaka, can I intervene for a second? So,
Please.
Go ahead.
yeah, I'm sharing my screen. Can you look at it? I'm just going to try to explain our point, me and Chip, right? So, you have two circles here. Sorry, 1 second. Definitely do that. You have two circles here. One is green, one is yellow. So the green circle is an animal, right? It's an object we call an animal. The yellow circle is an object that we call a human. So every circle contains like a bunch of traits, a bunch of stuff that this object has. So like ears, eyes, the ability to see, I don't know, the ability to pee, whatever, right? Eating, all of that stuff, like, I don't know, happiness, sadness, all of that shit, like whatever the object is capable of or has, it's in that circle, if you can imagine it. Humans have a slightly bigger circle, right? So there are a lot of like more complex emotions there. There are like different abilities that we have. So higher cognition, for sure. So what we are trying to say is not that we should like make the yellow circle and the green circle the same, right? Just give me a second to adjust here to show it better. So we're not trying to say they're the same thing, right? What we're trying to say, what we're trying to say is that there is something that we have there is the same between us. We have all these other traits that are different. Animals, I don't know, like dogs can smell so much better than us. That's a trait that dogs have that we as humans don't have, right? For instance. But this thing that correlates between an animal and a human is called sentience. Sentience is the basal consciousness, the basal ability to feel, experience life. That's how individuals are, all right, created, right? Because if you're sentient, you're an individual. So what we are saying is that we should value this basal consciousness and not just the ability to reason, the higher consciousness that humans have. We should value this correlation between them instead. Because...
Nah, mate, that's bollocks. That's bollocks, mate.
Sorry, Passionate?
That's bollocks.
Sorry, Passionately, can you mute you? You're like hot micing. Sorry.
Your mic.
Oh, my bad.
I'll go, bro.
Vaka, that's the thing, right? So, I don't know, if we can go through the fact that some humans just have only like the basal experience of animals, right? And we're saying, well, you shouldn't kill those humans as well. It's not because they're human, it's because they are an individual. They have this capacity. And that's the capacity we share with animals.
But aren't humans more cognitively blessed?
Sure, but
Not
why
all
does
humans,
that mean that animals should be slaughtered?
But let's say an animal who's lived a good life, herded, farmed like we've done for like the generations of humans. They've been herded and farmed, kept well, fed well, without disease. And that animal is killed painlessly for product, for human consumption. Do you think that is wrong?
Yes, of course, because if you take a human that has the capacities of an animal, let's say we have a human that have almost the same capacity as of an animal.
Yeah, but that's a human.
Yes,
how do you
yes,
make
but I
up
just fucking
for that
explained
law?
why. I'm just fucking explained why we should
Yeah,
value
but
both.
like humans are different from animals. Like it doesn't matter if a human has a cognitive. Like this is you keep going through the same debate. It's like,
I
oh,
guess,
you wouldn't eat a
Maku,
human that has the
Maku,
cognitive ability of an animal, so then you can eat
Shut
an
up
animal.
for a second. Shut up.
What is wrong with eating animals? Who
Maku,
cares?
Maku,
Postmortem. To be
be
fair, you start using
quiet,
swear
be
words. Nothing
quiet.
allowed in this flat, man.
Maku,
Why
be
do you
quiet.
start swearing at us for no reason? We didn't use no slurs on you. Come
Maku.
on,
You
man.
guys, can you guys for a second have a decent conversation and wait for the point to be finished before you start
you know what?
interjecting?
Maku
Yeah, I mean,
can't
why
stop
does she have to
himself.
start
So let's
throwing
go
up
on
the
with
F word
Maku.
for no reason, eh? It was quite civilized until she started fucking trying to insult us.
I started insulted. What? When did I insult anybody?
Yeah, mate, Bonnie Blue ain't gonna do shit about you, mate. Bonnie Blue's better.
So I don't understand what you're saying. So Maku, I guess we don't have a choice now but to address you. So what is the morally relevant difference? You're saying humans are different from animals.
But my question
Yeah, because humans have human rights.
how will
because-
this person who lives in the mountain and make up the same nutritional benefit of eating animals, like you guys who can buy supplements and all these things, this person who lives in the mountain who needs meat, how is it morally wrong for him to have this animal, herd them, sheep them, give them a good life, and have them as a product?
Yeah.
How is
because-
that wrong?
Yeah, because
Yes, mate. Shut up. Let him continue about the mountain people.
I mean,
Jesus Christ.
America. Me personally, I come from a third world country. If everyone went vegan here, we would starve and die.
Yeah, Vaka, I can change.
But
I
you're
can answer that. I can
but
answer
you're
the question.
American. Yes, of course.
You're
But you're
saying-
American, right? You have all of
You're
these
not
supplements
American,
and things.
no.
Wait,
But you
Stop
come
making
from you come from a
assumptions.
not just that.
Wait.
I'm saying you guys
From
come from
the
a way better
West, you're
place than that.
European Westerners. You know what he
Marco,
means.
let me
You're
speak
from
for
the
a second.
Netherlands, which is the most food-obsessed place.
Maku, I'm gonna start fucking moding. So one at a time. So Vaka asks a question. Can we answer it? Please.
You guys have the benefit and the privilege to make up these nutritional losses on supplements and all of these things. When people like from my country, if we turn towards vegans, we would starve.
Where do you live,
We would
Vaka?
lose the nutrient benefits.
Where do you live?
Is your country worse than India?
I live in
where do you
Bangladesh.
live?
I live in Bangladesh.
Bangladesh.
Nobody's
So
spoken to
Bangladesh is
people
one of
from
the easiest
Bangladesh.
places on earth to be
Yeah.
vegan, right?
How is it the easiest place
The
on earth to be
fuck,
vegan?
bro? Why, bro? What?
Because
Our
most of
whole economy,
because
our
most
whole
Wouldn't it be
economy
the
is built on
USA? You
fish.
fucking
Jesus
twat?
Christ.
Does
Passionately.
it sell
passionately,
like
you will be
vitamin
kicked.
B12 supplements?
Passionately, you will be kicked if you don't stop and wait. Okay? You have to wait for arguments. We are not speaking to you. We are speaking to Vaka right now. You will be kicked if you do not
Okay,
behave.
sorry.
So,
But
Vaka, Bangladesh is one of the easiest places on earth to be because most of your
do you live here?
national.
Do you know that
No, no,
our
but
economy is built
holy
on
Jesus
fish.
Christ.
All of us eat fish.
That's the reality of the thing. That's first of all, that's not the morality of the thing, and second of all, a lot of your dishes are actually like vegan or almost vegan. A lot of your
You don't know
national
that.
dishes.
Tell me my national dishes. We have rupchanda. We have all of these fishes. So these are all fish. We have our entire economy was based on fish. We eat a
That's
lot
the
of fish.
economy. I'm talking about like what is available. You have vegan food available to you.
Well, but those vegan foods are very. Look at dal. Look at these bhat. We don't have. These foods are not nutritionally dense. That's why
course,
our
yeah.
country has a very bad case of diabetes, heart failure, and all these things.
Diabetes
Wait,
is
wait,
not.
wait. What does
Can I say
nutritionally
something?
dense? What does nutritionally dense mean to you?
Oh, thank you, G.
Have you had dal? These
What
things are
does
not
nutritionally dense mean to you? Do you mean nutritionally dense as in micronutrient dense, or do you mean macronutrient dense?
I don't have no
Both.
idea what any of that means. I just know that people have it. Our whole
So
a lot
wait,
of people
if you
have.
don't know, if you can't explain how your claim is that the
I mean, just look
plant-based
at our
products that
country.
you
We
can
have high.
find
I
are
mean,
not
look at our
nutritionally
country,
dense,
right?
how can you like you can't explain your own statement? Then how can we ever debunk your statement? Because I can explain you that I can tell you from the start there's a difference between macronutrients and micronutrients, and you will know from the start that a plant-based diet is very rich in micronutrients, but you can have issues with macronutrients intake.
But
And
dal is not
based on
that.
what you're saying, and
It's
based on
all
what
oil
you're
and ghee.
saying, and based on what you're saying, the fact that you have diabetes in your country, the fact that you have all of these issues just tells me that you, like every other country on this planet, because you know it's pretty international, just like it is everywhere else, you have the same issues that we all do. Too many calories, which is not a macronutrient issue. You understand that? So
Now, can I say
you,
something?
before we go there, I'm just like, when you say that you cannot, like, let's just even stop with all this. Instead of saying you say one thing, we say one thing. If we give you resources to thrive on a plant-based diet, right, to not need like to meet absolutely all your nutritional needs and to excel at your health, would you see it as a
is that
moral
realistic
obligation to
scenario?
go vegan?
Is that a realistic scenario?
Yes.
How? Who's gonna give us all of that subsidies?
That's not the point.
Go vegan.
I
mean,
can
sure.
tell you how.
I mean,
I
sure.
can tell you
If
how, but
I
let
mean,
me.
sure. I'm so down for that. If people can give us that much, our economy, that much money, that everyone can buy.
Hello.
These
No,
supplements,
no. I said you. If I
of
give
course.
you, I can't give to the whole country of Bangladesh nutritional information on how to be vegan. However, you are here right now, and I can provide you with that information. So you will get access to this information on how to be vegan in your country and thrive and be within your budget. So doesn't that mean that you should have a moral obligation to not oppress animals, to not be a violent person towards innocent animals, because you can? Because what you're saying is that you can't, but we're telling you, well, what if you could?
Wait, why are you framing it like violence? My whole point is that I think animals should be cleanly herded with.
Isn't that violent? Taking somebody's life against their will is not violent to you?
But if the animal is being kept well, I'm saying, back to my.
So wait, if the animal is kept well, then killing them is no longer violent?
I mean, out of necessity.
It's better.
No. Wait. Now you inserted the out of necessity, and we already explained that we can help you thrive on a plant-based diet, so it's not a necessity anymore.
Sure, then go ahead. I mean,
so then you acknowledge that if you have the necessary resources to thrive on a plant-based diet, then you should not be participating in violence towards innocent animals.
I mean, sure. For me specifically, if you're gonna apply me the money and all the information required, but it's not a realistic scenario for everybody else, is it? People need this.
Doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. You can do it.
I mean, look at reality. People need this resource. You can't give that
Doesn't really
to everybody
matter.
else.
You can do it, and you can help share it if you want. You can share this resource further and try to get other people to go vegan.
And
It
it's
seems
not
like you
just
care
resource.
about
And
that.
it's not just resource; it's money. As I said, This
As I
plant
said,
Are you
money
actually
also.
going to give Waka money?
No, I'm not giving anybody money. I'm telling you, I'll give you resources, access to a certified nutritionist that will help you achieve a plant-based diet within your
But
budget,
that,
within your area.
but that is the most out of their reach. How will you give that to the whole country of people
I can
who
give
are
it to
already
you. It doesn't
economically
really
struggling?
matter if the whole country. Do you understand that? Like if your whole
I mean,
country
you have.
commits something
I
horrible,
mean,
it doesn't
if
mean you have to be
you.
part of it too, does it?
I mean, if you're looking at the morality of it, if you're a huge complaint of morality, don't you want everyone to do it so there's no animals being hurt, according to you, being
Sure.
violently killed? Yeah.
And you
So
can spread
why
it
are you?
around. You can spread it around
And
if
it's
you want.
never and it's not that easy. Are you gonna give that nutrition to everybody? That's not possible.
Wait, no, stop. Okay, stop, because all of the sudden you're all of the sudden coming up with excuses again. So we have to reach a
I'm
point,
not being
okay?
nice to
You
me, being
cannot
realistic.
control. No, Vaka, answer my question. Can you control what everybody else does?
No, but I'm telling you.
Are
I
you
already gave you
responsible?
yes.
Are you responsible for everybody else does?
I mean, you're looking at morality. Morality is a
Are
very huge red
you,
issue.
Vaka, are you responsible for what other people do?
No, but you, as you said, you
Okay.
want to help other people, right?
No, let me
Decent
finish.
people.
You are responsible for your actions and what you do. So you, as an individual, can choose to be moral even if everybody around you isn't. Is that correct?
Of course, that is true.
Okay, so we are giving you the opportunity to not participate in this violence. And what you're saying now is that not everybody will have this opportunity. Sure.
Of course.
Not everybody will have it, but you have it. So that means that you should no longer be part of this violence, correct?
Of course. You can give it to me. I'm waiting.
Yeah, here's the
I
thing,
think
Vaka. I already gave it to you. I already put it in the chat, right? There is a vegan guide of everywhere in the world, how to be vegan in every country.
Dal,
And
aloo
I'm showing it up
ramjana
as well.
paratha,
Also-
naan bread, sabji is. These are
also-
all very,
also-
very, very diverse.
Yes, in order
Also-
to give to
Also,
thrive on a plant-based diet, you have to have enough first of all B12
Yeah.
supplement.
also,
Zinc,
if you let me fucking
ESA,
finish.
EPA,
I love
carnitine,
chicken.
creatine.
Also,
Oh,
giving
somebody
you-
somebody use
All-
ChatGPT.
Also,
All these
yeah, because
things
if you let
cannot.
me finish.
You have
also,
to
I'm
buy
put-
on supplement.
Yes, if you let me finish, I also put in the chat a link to where Vaka can talk to a nutritionist on how to do it in his country.
Yeah, is it free though? Does it cost money?
It's
Does
free.
it cost
No,
money
it's
to
free.
talk to a
No,
nutritionist?
it's free. It's free. It's Challenge 22. All the nutritionists and dietitians on that site are volunteers, and they can help him out to how to do a
Okay.
vegan diet on a healthy vegan diet in his country.
Okay, does it cost money to regularly take vitamin B12 shots?
Does
You
it
don't have
cost
to
money
take it
to
in shots, you can
regularly
just
buy
take it.
food?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yo.
what even is this question? It's like
It does.
I'm looking for more excuses. Does it cost
Vitamin
money for me to
B12
be
is
vegan? Yes, it costs
essential.
money for you to be vegan, just like
Guys.
it costs money for you to not be vegan. It's the same thing. It
Guys,
costs money
guys.
to exist.
Yeah, but it
Chip.
costs more money though.
Hold on. Guess
No.
what?
It's more.
I have
and it's,
I have B12 in this coffee. How do I have B12 in this coffee? Tell me. I'm not taking any injections. I didn't put injections into my coffee. How is B12 in my coffee?
Did you piss in it?
I don't know. What do you put in your coffee?
I put some oat milk.
Okay, so but that's not enough, right? You
Okay.
can't just say I eat 1 carrot, therefore
No.
I satisfy my requirement for vitamin A. That's
All I
not
want to
enough.
say is there are ways of getting vitamins without taking a pure version of it. Like you don't have to take just a supplement. You can just consume food which has those things. There's no need to like saying I have to take this or I don't have to take this. Bro, I'm drinking coffee with B12. Like
There's not enough B12 in the oat milk.
How would you know? How much B12 is it in his cup of coffee right now?
Because I know vegans who
Okay. So how much?
Just a
How
question.
much
doesn't
B12?
coffee-
Wait 1 second. How much B12 is in his cup of coffee? It's roughly 250 milliliters, I would say. I'll tell you that. How much B12 is in his cup of coffee since you know vegan food so well?
Yeah, but it's not as bioavailable, I think, because based on my
Okay,
observation,
no. I'll
vegans
ask you
don't
this
take
then.
supplement.
Let me ask you this: how much B12 do you need per day?
I don't know. I'm not on vegan diet.
What
I
the
don't
hell?
take any supplement
So you
because I eat
complain about
animal
B12,
products
yet you
for
know
my nutrition.
nothing about it? Like, how can you complain about something you know nothing about? Is that
Well,
not intellectual dishonesty?
I don't have to take cocaine to know cocaine is bad, all right?
Well,
I don't
No,
have
but you.
to.
So funny. Wow.
I
I
don't
wanna,
have to take crystal
look,
meth to know taking drug is bad for you.
Ling,
Because I know other people who did it. And guess
Ling,
what? I know people who try to do a vegan diet without taking any supplement, and they
okay.
all look underweight, very, very sick.
Ling, can I just quickly address something? We can talk about these issues if you want to, but it kind of feels like we're not really going anywhere. Would you be okay if we talk to someone else real quick?
Yes,
We can.
go ahead.
Cool. Awesome. Chip, are you okay with that?
No, yeah, I'm totally okay. I just
Cool.
like, I feel like we already posed this hypothetical that if you can thrive on it, why not?
But it's fine. I think Link has some issues, but if we talk to someone else about similar issues, maybe they could kind of understand and, you know. Anyway, Chip, go ahead.
I mean, I think Vaka, you had a question before that.
I was just letting Philip know coffee interrupts vitamin B absorption. So you should have the oat milk separately instead of with coffee.
Well,
But
no,
I'm
it
just saying
actually
this-
interacts with iron, not with vitamin D. But point taken, and you can just like adjust for it.
Yeah, that
and-
wasn't a point. I was just asking.
All I want to say is you can
in a
have
nice
B12.
way.
All I want to say is you can have B12 in other forms of foods rather than a pill. That was my whole entire point.
I'm not giving a point, Philip. I was just telling you.
How are the vitamin
Nicely.
B12 supplements made? Like, are they from vegan extracts in the first place?
Post has an
Are you
amazing
asking if-
answer.
Sorry?
Oh, sorry. Post has an amazing answer. How is B12 made? Is it from plants?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
B-
no, I'm asking a genuine question. No, I'm not
Yeah,
trying to be disingenuous.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
no,
gonna
no,
answer
no.
a genuine answer. So the genuine answer is that not scientists, like supplement makers, they grow bacteria, specific bacteria that secretes B12, and then they just collect that B12 and dry it and put it in a pill form.
Yes, they use fish oil mostly.
No, they don't. They use
Like-
bacteria.
No.
No, they use
I
bacteria.
got prescription.
Yeah,
I
but
got
they
prescription. It's yellow tablet. They mostly use fish oil.
nobody uses fish oil for B12. Maybe they use fish oil for omega-3s, DHA and EPA. But why would you use fish oil for B12? But also, like, you can just buy a different B12 that is made the way I said it, which is most times. They're just growing bacteria, and then they collect what bacteria has secreted, and they dry that up and put it in a pill.
It would be very also inefficient.
Yeah, because here's the thing, right? Growing bacteria versus growing an entire animal for B12. Animals, they excrete their energy, right? Because they're walking, eating, thinking, feeling, all of those things, they waste about 90% of their energy, of their intake, onto just living. Bacteria doesn't do that. Bacteria it doesn't move much because it's not sentient. It's not, it's not that it's not sentient. It just doesn't move much because it's just like a single cell organism. So you just give it food, and then it
Bacteria is
metabolizes that food, and it secretes B12 instead. It's the most efficient way to get B12. And by the way, animals are supplemented by this B12 as well.
Oh,
Wait, you just said I'm confused. You said bacteria is sentient. Did I hear that in there somewhere?
No, bacteria are not sentient.
Okay, got it.
I mean, they can't. It's a single cell organism, isn't it?
I agree.
Yeah.
Because you see, it's just funny to me. You're like, bacteria isn't sentient. You took it back. It was funny to me.
some people say plants are sentient, which is just dumb.
Yeah, it's just stupid. It's just stupid shit that people say because they don't want to go vegan. It's all right. We deal with it every single day.
Yeah.
So, Mako, did I answer your question?
Yeah, I was quiet afterwards.
Well, do you have any other? Maybe we can talk to Mako finally, because he's been waiting for a long time. Not very patiently, but nonetheless. So Mako, what do you
No,
have?
I don't have a point of discussion. It's more like if something comes up, I feel like everybody should have a.
Yeah, but
If they have a to make on it, they should have a point to make on it.
We gotta be careful if there's too many questions asked at too many different like at the same time, because we want to go through one topic by another. You know, we appreciate the question though.
Yeah.
But still, my question of it being available to not all people is still there. I mean, the counter argument that I can do it because I'm in the school and I'm financially obligated to have a computer and to be here and learn about it. What about everybody else? You know,
So
you can strip me.
so here's the thing, Vaka. Most people in the world can be vegan. Most people, for real. Because veganism is generally speaking like the vegan diet, right? The vegan diet is generally speaking can be cheaper because it like relies mostly on whole plant foods, and those are like cheaper than meats and dairy and all that stuff, right? Generally speaking, it's much cheaper, much more efficient, as I already described, to get a B12 from, don't do
tutor.
that, tutor.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right. So generally speaking, like getting your B12 from a pill is much cheaper than getting it from.
But like, you have to realize
Yeah.
people can't get pills like that over here. That's just
They can't
not
get
there.
pills in Bangladesh. If I find a B12
Yeah,
supplement in Bangladesh, are you
I'm
like
sorry.
for real gonna go vegan, please?
No, I'm not even talking. I mean, I already answered that chip guy, right? I was just like, if I could, I would, and I
Listen,
was trying my
You
best
can.
to make sure
Here's the
animals.
We
thing.
showed.
Here's the thing.
We
This
proved
is
to you
why.
that you
Hold
can.
on, Chip.
My
Hold on.
constant question. My question
Vaka,
is,
hold on. Can you please hold on 1 second? So here is the reason we are here on Discord talking to people, and we are not going to the poor villages of Africa or whatever and like try to make them vegan, right? Because people
Of
who have
course, I'm
Discord
just talking
have
about that.
internet, have computers, have cell phones. Those people have the ability, the same ability to be vegan as us. Yes? So we're talking to you, Vaka. We're not talking to a poor person in Africa.
talking about my country right now, about my Africa. I'm just saying.
It doesn't
This
matter.
farmers,
You know, I'm just
farmer,
making.
far,
It doesn't-
pharmaceuticals aren't that available to us, you know.
It
And this
doesn't
isn't the
matter.
point.
Here is the thing, though, Vaka. It's available to you because you are here on Discord with an internet connection, talking to people on
Of
the other
course,
side of the world.
I already answered the chip guy. My only concern is that these people need meat. They need it.
No,
you know,
they don't.
to
They
strive
need
to-
nutrients, not ingredients. And if we can supply them with ingredients, they're not going to need the
And who's gonna
nutrients
supply them
from a
with
sentient
ingredients?
animal. They're not going to need it.
Wait, can I just ask, like, in relation to your country, do you believe there are vegans where you live, like your
Of
region?
course, there's Hindus here. Hindus are all
Cool,
vegans.
amazing. Let's focus on that. If they can do it, you can do it. Easy clap. Conversation's done.
Yeah. Yeah, for real, for real.
But our whole economy is based on fish. All these people eat
Who
fish
cares?
daily, every day.
Hey, so now, okay, let's stick to this. What?
So do you think we should start like an information campaign? What's
Hold
spreading
on.
veganism?
Vaka. Why do people
Yeah.
choose to be vegan?
Because you have an issue with the morality of it, which is fair.
Okay. You say it's fair. Why is it fair?
Because the way we treat meat nowadays and how we hurt animals is not right.
The way
Me
we treat
personally-
meat.
Animals. I said animals.
Okay, you said meat.
So
Stop trying to read for a gotcha, bro. I'm just
no.
discussing.
You said a word and it
I'm
was
like being
reflected.
I'm being so friendly, bro. I'm discussing. Don't
That's
try to
fine.
be
Okay,
go for a gotcha, you know?
so what do you think vegans want?
I want they want morality. They don't want animals to die. That's fair. I love animals. you
Okay.
know?
Now,
Me personally, I'm Muslim. I only eat halal meat because I believe halal meat is okay, because these
Okay.
animals were bred without disease, kept in free roam. They lived the best life. So I was like, this is fine
so
for me.
let's kinda try to find a middle ground and go from there, right? Vegans are against killing and harming animals, right?
Because
Especially
I
for something.
completely agree. You know, it's really fucked up how we treat meat.
Wait,
I mean,
wait,
how
can
we
I-
treat
can I
animals
just-
and how we treat this.
You said how we
treat.
treat meat just now. Please stop
That was a
referring to animals as objects.
That was
I
a
wanna,
mistake. How we treat
I wanna.
animals and how we get meat. That's what I
Okay,
meant.
okay. I wanna focus on something which is really important, right? Vegans are
Mhm.
against harming and killing animals, and objectifying them, right? While you're
Yeah.
saying that killing is not bad, correct?
I believe if it's like a straight born painless death, I think it's fine.
Okay. Are you okay with causing unnecessary killing?
I mean, to me, because these humans, because all this supplementation is all information that we have gotten
Do you remember my
outside, and
question?
while not everybody can have that,
Vaka, can
What
you
was the
I
repeat
question?
believe.
Felix's question? Can you repeat Felix's question, please?
I forgot. It's not in my brain.
No problem. Felix can no problem. Felix can say it again. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
What do you think about unnecessarily killing animals?
I don't think any animals should be killed unnecessarily. Only for
Okay.
the product.
Oh, what if the product is unnecessary?
Then it's completely fine. Animals shouldn't be harmed. I'm just talking about the necessity of it. It's been
Wait,
my question this whole time.
hold on. Are you saying it's okay to, because I didn't understand your response. Are you saying it's okay to harm animals for unnecessary products?
No, it's not. I believe animals. If all humans had like all of these resources, the animals shouldn't be harmed, right? Because we're
Okay,
meant to reproduce them.
okay.
My
So let me ask.
question is, in
Wait,
reality,
because this is super important. Because I like what you're doing. It's amazing, and I have just one simple question which can solidify the entire like view. If you live in the country, let's say whatever Muslim country there is, and you know you can be vegan, you know you can live this lifestyle, should you still have the means to cause unnecessary harm to animal for unnecessary products like chicken nuggets or chicken legs or whatever the
No,
fuck you want?
I don't agree with that.
Okay, cool.
I just
So,
think about. I'm just here to discuss the necessity of it.
okay, so right, so if you realized right now, oh, someone's echoing. It's kind of annoying me. So I can tell you about my ethics if you want to, but
Of course,
we
I want
really
to hear about it.
what we really focus on right now in this channel is about people's ethics. I can tell you why I'm vegan, but I really would like to know why is someone like you who's completely against all of these forms of unnecessary killing and abusing of animals still chooses to pay into an industry which causes unnecessary harm.
Because I believe that there's a necessity in meat. Because everything.
Okay, Chip.
You have told me are for the educated, but most of the world's uneducated.
So wait,
uneducated,
before we go, what the whole world does, again, as we've established, and I have asked you a couple of times, you're responsible for your actions, not what other people's actions are. You can make better choices, even if the whole world cannot. Even if you think the people in your country cannot, it doesn't really matter, or it should stop you from making the right choices. Correct?
I'm here to discuss. I'm sure I've agreed with you multiple times, Trip Guy. I'm just here to discuss about the reality of the situation. Talking about how we can get to that point.
Okay, so if you agree that you are responsible for your choices, then whether on how to tackle the whole issue of everybody going vegan or everybody should consume plant-based and no longer exploit any animals is a different issue, and we can talk about it once you stop participating in the exploitation of it.
Isn't that an ultimate goal, though?
Do you understand that that's not the goal right now?
I know, but I'm just talking about the ultimate goal. Because
so what's
we
the
don't want
ultimate
any
goal? What's the question? Sorry, I missed it.
The ultimate goal?
Yeah.
What's the ultimate goal? What do you think is the ultimate goal, Vaka? Can you please?
That animals should stop being harmed. I mean, that's obviously the most conscious, straightforward goal, isn't it?
Yeah, just that animals stop being exploited and slaughtered for unnecessary stuff. Yes.
Of course.
Yeah, that's the goal. Yes, the end goal. Yes.
Yeah, I'm just talking.
What's wrong with killing animals?
Well, they are sentient beings. They have like a similar experience to to us when it comes to sentience. They're individuals, and that's the reason I think that it's not okay to kill humans. And that's
wait. Let's go through one conversation at a time. Let's go, because we're just like jumping between. So let's just talk to Vaka real quick, And
Okay.
Yeah, and let's finish this. So Vaka, we've already established that you're responsible for your own actions. We've already established that we can give you resources. You have been given 2 resources already that would help you on a plant-based diet yourself. And does that mean, and before we discuss what the big issue is and how to approach that big issue, does that mean that starting right now, you will no longer support any form of animal exploitation?
I'll continue to have halal meat.
So you're still going to exploit animals?
I don't believe halal meat is exploitation of animals. I mean,
You
we
don't
both disagree.
believe killing an animal
we
against
both
their
disagree.
will
We
is
both disagree on one
unfairly
thing.
using them?
Where we both disagree on one thing. I think
No,
an
no, no,
animal.
no, 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 no.
Sorry, can you reason, Vaka? Can you like
Yes, I'm here to
actually
reason.
go through like reasonably?
I'm here to reason. I just
Yeah.
joined this call and I'm here talking. I'm here to share my thoughts and get a better understanding of the world.
Yeah,
I'm not here to argue with you. I'm not here to fight with you.
So
'cause you guys
please
keep
tell me,
treating it
how
like
is
that.
it not exploitation to raise somebody in order to kill them? There is no other reason that those animals are raised.
I believe because the animals are not being harmed.
No,
Do you think
exploitation.
so?
First of all,
Killed.
that's horrific. You slitting somebody's throat, even with in a halal way, right? You're just slitting somebody's throat. That's harm.
I mean,
That's harm to the
animal is
physical.
not-
That's
the
harm to the
animal is
physical
not
body. Yes.
seeing any suffering or torture.
Sorry, that's
That-
harm to the
whole-
physical body. Yes, to slit somebody's throat.
I'm saying the animal is not suffering. It's not
Can
dying
you answer my
painfully.
question? Is it harm to physical body to slit somebody's throat?
I
Yes or
mean,
no?
sure, but I'm not saying, but
Sure.
they're not being harmed.
So it is
They're
harm.
not seeing any
So
suffering.
it is harm.
harm.
So it is harm. It's also exploitation because that's what these animals are bred for. That's like
But
the
they're
definitionally
They're
an
not
exploitation.
facing suffering. Are they facing any suffering?
So hold on. If I slit your throat in a halal way, would you say that's abusive?
But humans are different. I believe humans are
that's-
different.
That wasn't my
Yeah,
question.
I agree.
I didn't ask you if humans and non-humans are different.
I believe
asking
only
you,
certain. I only believe only certain animals are.
do you remember my
are good.
question?
I did. You asked me if my throat is. I told you. I answered. I think humans are different.
Wait, what was my question again?
You told me if you came and slit my throat in a halal way, is that fine or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
told you.
nothing.
I think.
Yeah, that's nothing to do with like are humans human?
Wait.
That was my
I'll ask the question in a different way. Do you think that if you were in a slaughterhouse, in a halal slaughterhouse, you would feel differently than an animal who's in a halal slaughterhouse?
100%.
Again, in the same position.
Have you seen halal? They aren't even slaughterhouses. They're farms. They're farms. They aren't even slaughterhouses. Quote
They're
unquote.
totally not. That's so funny that you don't even know that. They're totally not. They're actually halal slaughterhouses. Hence why there's so many investigations being done on them, showing that they don't even follow the halal protocol. But let's not go into all that. I'm just curious. Okay, on a farm, let's put it this way. I'll go with you. On a farm, do you think that on a farm where somebody's holding your body and wanting to cut your throat, would you feel differently than an animal who is being held by their body and wanting to cut their throat?
But we're going to come to the same point. I don't think humans and animals are comparable beings. I believe we're
Would
different.
you feel? I asked you, would you feel the same, or would you feel differently?
I'll feel differently. I just told you, humans are different.
So how would you feel differently? Would you not feel the same amount? Or would you still not feel pain of the knife cutting your throat? Or what is it specifically that you think a knife to the throat of you is so different than a knife to the throat of a different species?
Because we're humans, and this is now we're going.
No. This is circular reasoning. This is circular reasoning, saying that because we're humans is not an immoral, is not an argument. You have to come up with what exactly is it that, from our humanity, as you call it, that makes it so that a knife to the throat feels different to us than it does to a cow.
We have different pain.
Why are you guys all asking a bunch of questions?
Different brain.
Because now we
vegans are non-stop asking questions about to Vaka and doesn't give him time to answer.
Because I'm the one talking. That's why.
Yeah.
But now we go into the divine sense of it. My religious beliefs. I don't want to jump into, but because of course not the conversation. I think that's where we can find a middle ground. So I believe humans have different purpose for the world than animals.
No, because physically, even if you were to invoke the divine thing that you're saying, divine would just mean that you have a soul and an animal doesn't, correct?
Not necessarily, no.
Whatever.
in our book, God has given certain animals that are specifically for farming and herding,
Sure.
and
Whatever.
specific animals
My
we eat.
question is,
And
sure,
I believe the
whatever. My question,
specific animals we eat.
Vaka,
sure,
you're not
Therefore,
really
whatever.
answering
Again,
the actual questions. You just go off
the
in a different
question,
direction.
yes, the question is pretty clear. If you, as a physical being, who that you are, is you're having your throat cut in the same place, halal, in the same way that a cow would have their throat cut, would you feel differently than that cow? And Mike, if you obviously say yes, and my question to you is why? What exactly physiologically, physically is different from you to the cow that makes it so that you feel differently?
Wouldn't it be more dreadful
Can
for
I
us?
can I answer?
No,
Can you
it's
let
a
him
question
answer?
for Vaka.
Wouldn't that be more
You guys are
dreadful?
bullying Vaka, bro.
Vaka, are
I
we
mean,
bullying
I
you?
mean, I'm just here to talk, but I would say I like talking to Felix the most. He's not like constantly attempting for a gotcha. I feel like
This isn't a
Post
gotcha. This
mortem
is
and
a
the
question.
chip guy constantly. I feel aggressed to, you know. I'm here just to talk about it, mind open, you know. I'm not here showing any aggression to anybody.
Sure.
As-
Can you
as-
please answer my question before we jump into who's a better person than not? I'm sure Felix is an excellent activist and he's better than me at all this. And I don't mind saying that because I know he's an excellent activist. My question to you right now is yet again, if you are in the same position, and I'll repeat it just so that you remember it, if you're in the same position and you, as a cow would be in the same situation with a knife to the throat, do you think you would feel differently? And you said yes. And my question to you is what exactly physiologically or physically makes a difference in you feeling differently?
Isn't all about the mental, though? If you're talking specifically about the morality of it, it's all about what the animal is feeling, what the creature in the moment is feeling.
So all of a sudden, it's no longer a physical pain, it's a mental pain?
I mean, isn't it the most important thing right now? Because isn't that what morality is all about? To make sure
Morality
the
is not
animal
about mental pain necessarily. It's about a lot of other aspects also.
let's go into my argument. Let's say let's say humans were farmed and herded, and now we were killed. We would feel more dread from that, wouldn't we?
Not
We would feel dread
necessarily.
from that.
Not necessarily. You could
Cool.
also have, you could also be dissonant, can't you?
But humans have goals. We have goals. We have ambitions. Do animals share that with us?
Wait. Okay, if all I do is I sit on my PC, play video games, eat and sleep, and nothing else, and I don't want to do anything else, should I be put in the slaughterhouse?
I think that's just a you. I think that's just a you problem because all humans should have goals. It's really important because we're mentally capable of having goals.
We
aren't
don't eat goals, and neither do animals. We can just live how we want to live. If it makes us happy, what's the problem, right? Like I'm happy with how I live.
I mean, goals are very important.
But
what's the problem?
okay, hold on. But the whole view is we don't need goals to be respected, right?
Of course not.
Cool.
But
why then why do we use that for animals? Why do we disrespect animals?
I'm not disrespecting them.
Killing them is a fucking disrespect. I'll tell ya. Holy.
But I would say
Yeah, because we don't care. That's it.
I mean, I care.
Nothing.
I personally care. I want these animals not to suffer. You know, not to feel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah,
Do you just real quick? Do you think animals want to live the entire life that they have?
Yes.
I'm
Do you
asking.
think I don't. Do animals want to live the entire life they have? Do they?
Okay, Vaka, just a simple question. Do animals value their own life?
I mean, they feel fear. That's certain.
Well, do you think like if animals experience
But do you
happiness,
think but do you think humans value their own existence more than animals value their own existence?
It doesn't matter, right? I think every sentient being values.
I mean, it does matter. The scenario you're posing to me right now that the chip guy was is like, what if I was hung there being killed? Shouldn't that matter then?
So the reason why I'm trying to explain this to you is that every living being that's sentient can recognize the importance of itself. I'm more important to me than you are, right? I don't care as much about you as I care about me, because there are things about me that I really care about. Especially one of the biggest things is living, right? That's something I really care about. So do you think animals, let's say chicken for the sake of the argument, do you think chicken cares about living?
I don't necessarily think so. They feel fear.
Yes,
they feel instinct to survive, but I don't think that they necessarily have that mental ability to care about living. I mean,
do
the
you
whole
think? Okay.
the whole situation that's being posed to
Vaca.
me right now. What if I was there? You know?
Oh,
and
wait,
being
wait,
slaughtered?
Vaca. Here's
Jesus
I'll make
Christ.
a scenario to make it a little bit easier for you to understand, right? Let's say a chicken lives on a farm, and every time a farmer walks into a chicken, he kicks the chicken, right? So the chicken would avoid the farmer because they know pain is bad, because they feel pain, right? They know that the pain would be there if they get close to the farmer, right? Why do they avoid the farmer then?
Because they're scared. It's an
Why are they scared?
instinctual thing.
Why are they scared?
Because they don't want to die. Just like a deer doesn't want to get killed by lion, but it's just how society works.
Don't you think there's a more
wait,
humans that are being kicked by something?
We'll talk about it, but this is really important right now. Why does a chicken avoid the farmer? We know it's because chicken.
In mind, death equal to
because they want to live.
Wait. Let Vaca say. Let Vaca respond. Oh my god. Okay, Vaca, go ahead.
Like
death
guys, shush. Let him talk. Let him. Yeah, Vaca. Why does a chicken avoid the farmer?
Because death equal to bad in their head. Instinctually, they want.
Why?
Because the instinctually they want to survive. I'm answering your question.
Okay, they want to survive. And do you think that's important?
Because that's instinctual.
Wait, do you think that's important? Do you think
if humans are being kicked the same way, don't you think we have more layers to it?
Because it's a nature.
No, I would say it's still instinctive for you to want to survive and not die. It's still an instinct.
But don't we have more
Why is
layers
it that
to
you
it?
think all of the sudden that this is coming from ration and not instinct?
But don't we have more layers to it though?
Yes, but human is more important than animal.
Yeah, but you can kill neither. The thing is, you can kill neither. This is not a dichotomy of, if we stop killing animals, we're going to start killing humans. You can kill neither.
You believe that we are all equal, like animals' life.
No, you can say that humans are higher.
Because three of you are coming at me once. I want
to get to the original core of this. If we can see that the chicken is avoiding the farmer because the chicken values its own life, maybe we should value its life because it values itself, right? Maybe we shouldn't cause suffering or pain or even killing them because they care about it.
Why?
I'm going to explain this to Vaca. I will get to everyone else, and other activists can get to everyone else, but I'm just trying to explain to Vaca the entire structure of why I proposed this statement. Vaca, do you understand?
Well, I understand your point, but I believe humans don't we feel more than the chicken?
It doesn't matter who feels more or less, right? What's really important is the value that those sentient beings have to themselves. If they want to live, just let them live. Let them chill. Let them smoke weed.
Why? But how about me wanting to eat them? My instinct about wanting to eat them. Does that matter?
Wait, can I talk to Vaca or do I have to start moderating?
I think you should start, moderating a bit.
I just tried to get a warning out because I don't like people interrupting. So yeah, Vaca, if we can see that, it doesn't matter if they value some things higher or lower. We should still just respect them and let them fucking chill, smoke weed, eat cookies. I don't know.
I mean, everything you just mentioned. I mean, my point still stands. Like, don't we feel more?
It's not about that. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? By the way,
you're saying we both feel pain, so we should have both the same respect.
No. Right? All I'm saying is, it doesn't matter who values what and on what scale. If individuals want to live, let them live. That's it. Let them chill.
Well, that is true. I'll keep that in mind.
Then let them chill by not paying for them to die, bro. That's all. Okay, Chip, you can go ahead.
I'll keep my conversation right here. I'll end my conversation right here. Because we were going in circles for a while.
I think we should move on because we've been going in circles with this one.
Yeah, all I want to say is let's respect life. Let's let others chill. If anyone wants to criticize my opinion that we should let everyone chill, tell me. Anyone? No? Do we all agree we should stop eating meat? Make it illegal?
Can I talk?
Wait, make it illegal?
I'll prefer someone else.
It's not fair, bro.
We
you
already
said,
talked to you.
You already said you're gonna let
You're picking the easy opponent to talk to.
You
No, we're just
agreed.
picking the people who actually listen. You're not. You
Hold on.
just want to make up points. You don't actually
Oh, wait.
listen. That's not the
Ling,
point of the
You
discussion.
agreed. You verbally agreed.
Nah.
Ling, you verbally agreed you're gonna let other people talk. So let's stick to that, or I'll have to moderate. I don't
Can
want to
I?
moderate, but yeah, go ahead. Pikachu, what's up?
So what's wrong with killing animals? They get killed in wild all the time.
Yeah, I can
There you
answer
go.
that.
Where are you
Like,
I can answer that. So if you look at my screen, right, I'm sharing a screen. I have two circles on the screen on the whiteboard right here. So the green circle,
yeah.
the smaller circle, is an animal. The yellow circle is a human, right? So each circle
Okay.
encompasses those like traits that this object, quote unquote, has, right? So an animal object has like eyes, ears, tails, whatever, the ability to smell, the ability to feel fear, like really fast running or whatever, right? So all the abilities and traits that an animal has, imagine them encompassed in this circle. Humans have like different abilities. Some of them are worse than the ones that animals has. Most of them are like much better, right? Like the capacity to like feel
Yes.
very deeply and like think about like really deep shit and whatever, right? So that's human traits, a bunch of human traits in this yellow circle.
Mm.
So what we are saying is, right, that animals and humans, they're not exactly the same, right? So they're not the same circle. They have different traits, but they have some traits in common. And what we are claiming is that the traits that we have in common with animals are the traits that make it not okay to exploit and slaughter somebody, that make them morally valuable, and in a way that like allows them to live and express themselves and shit like that. And this set of traits that we have like in common with animals, we call sentience. So it's the capacity to experience life and have like certain emotions and feelings and like the feedback loop between, I don't know, I'm getting hurt, my brain is screaming, oh, you're hurting, ouch, right? You take your paw or your finger away from the fire, right? This is the things that we have in common with animals. Wanting to live, generally speaking, we have in common with animals, unless an animal or a human are suicidal, right? But that's like really, really fringe. That's it. That's the entire thing. It's the thing that animals have, that humans also have, that make it not okay to kill humans. Therefore, it should make it not okay to kill animals as well.
Like you can say the same thing about tiger and a deer. Plus, how you know it's not their instinct to survive? Like how it's not due to the
Well, if they have an
evolution reasons.
Yeah, so if they have an instinct to survive, then humans have the same instinct to survive. Let's not forget, we came from the same ancestor. That's the trait that we have between us. If they have an instinct to survive, we have an instinct to survive. If we have like more of a like the will to survive and less like of an instinct or whatever, right? Then they have the same thing as well. There's no difference there between us. We are both sentient.
Well, like we have better brain than animals.
Yeah. So what we're saying as vegans, right? It's not like let's kill only humans or let's kill only animals. We're saying kill neither. So we can be like higher consciousnesses or whatever, but because like the killing humans is not on a plate anymore, literally speaking, we're saying for the same reason we shouldn't kill animals. So comparing animals and humans and saying, well, humans are so much higher makes no sense here, because we say, let's kill neither. There is no dichotomy, kill this one or kill this one. You can kill neither.
So it is all about morals, right?
Sure.
Like, are we talking about being a moral being?
We don't really talk about us being moral, whatever. We're talking about the morality of exploiting and slaughtering animals. So just like, we're not talking about us, we're talking about them.
Okay, so it all comes down to the morality of being a human, right? You think it's
Well,
good to be
what do you
moral
mean the
towards
morality?
animals.
What do you mean the morality of being a human? What do you mean by that?
Like we should care about animals because they can feel pain
Well,
or
not just
they
pain,
wanna
like
survive.
not just pain. Yeah, they have like the amalgamation of feelings and experiences, right? This is not just about emotions. This is about all sorts of experiences that we share with animals. So, like, imagine something kind of hard to digest, right? Imagine you standing over a human being and you're about to kill that human being, and the human being knows. Like, you can look at them, right? They don't even need to say anything. You can look at them and see that they don't want to die, right? There is like an experience there. They are going through something. Well, animals are going through the same thing. Maybe it's not as deep, but it's deep enough for them to not want to die. It's deep enough for them when they're in line to the slaughterhouse machine, right? Whether halal slaughter or a different slaughter, they're trying to turn around and run away.
Plus, I would argue that they actually feel way worse than us, because in a lot of ways, animals live in the moment way more than we do. And we as humans, and you have experienced this definitely yourself, you can easily dissociate, you can easily try to forget and try to think about something else. In fact, when we're in situations where which we don't enjoy and which we don't like, we a lot of the time say, okay, think about something nice, think about being in a nice place or something. So we can do that to ourselves because, as you said, of our cognitive abilities. And animals, if they don't have that, then the animals, they're experiencing where they are in that situation considerably worse than we would otherwise.
So I will give you like a human example. If you watch TikTok all day, will you feel bad when you read book?
No, you're gonna feel less motivated to read a book.
Yeah, you'll feel less motivated. Like your bar goes low or goes high for dopamine.
Yeah, but
What does
like
that
I'm
even
just
what are
saying,
you trying to say?
oh,
What are you trying
Yeah.
to say?
I'm saying they are adjusted to getting hunted in wild.
They are not adjusted to losing their life. Do you understand that animals integrally
I
want
am
to leave
I
and not be
I
exploited?
I understand that. I agree with your point. I'm just saying animals get killed in wild all the
So
time.
do humans. Humans get killed all the time throughout our planet. Does that give us moral justification to kill more humans because they get killed in the wild, as we would call it?
No,
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
talking about exceptions. I'm talking about food chain.
Well,
Excuse me, exceptions? Are you saying that if a human being goes into a lion habitat, as you seem to have a problem with lions or want to bring lions into this discussion, if a human being goes into this lion habitat, would they not get killed?
Will you stop the lion from killing human?
If I can, yes, I would try to choose to stop anybody. Yeah, there's also a matter of
No, like
possibility.
if you are in wild, the lion is hungry. Will you stop it from killing you? Like how will you stop if he's more stronger than you?
However I can, I will do whatever I can within my power to try for that lion to
Okay.
not attack me. What even is the
But
point?
do you agree it will kill you if he wants to?
Perhaps,
Wait,
yes, a lion
I
is
just-
insanely
yeah,
big.
So
Why would that matter?
Can I just ask a question?
why can't we do that to animal?
Wait, Cucumber,
If
can I ask
animals
you a
gonna
question? I want to
Give
ask.
me one
like,
second, Felix. Give me just 1 second, Felix. Because I want to go down this train of thought, and then I'll let you ask a question. So you're saying that because lions could do something like kill a human being or kill another animal, then we should also, as humans, be allowed to do that thing, like kill a human being or an animal.
we should be allowed to kill animal if someone wanna eat. I'm vegetarian.
So we should be allowed to kill animals because lions kill animals?
No,
So
because
then
in wild,
why did you bring that argument about lions killing animals?
no,
Like, why does that matter to the situation?
you introduced line. I was talking about chain.
Food chain. Okay. Why does the food chain matter? Let me ask you this. Why does the food chain? The food chain, by the way, do you know what the food chain is? Can you explain to me what the food
Yeah,
chain is?
like I can give you example of how food chain works.
No. Explain to me what the food chain is.
So small herbivores get killed by a little bigger meat eaters, like whatever the term for them is, and they're
Hey,
killed by a more bigger animal, and this
Cuckoo,
continues.
did you know that the food chain, right, in the ecosystem starts actually a little lower? So the
Yeah,
herbivores
very
first eat plants, right? So
like
if we only resigned,
technically,
hold on, so if we only resigned to eating plants, we would still be in our own food chain. We don't need animals to be
yeah,
in the food chain.
yeah, I agree, but there are so many things that you get from animal meat,
Like what?
which is very hard to get from
Like what?
like protein.
Yeah, you can't get
It's very
protein
hard
from
to
plants,
get
you think? You can't
no,
get...
no, no. It's harder to get
How
protein from
so?
plants.
How so? How is it harder? What do you...
Such the composition of protein in animals versus in plants.
So if I
Tell me,
showed you
tell me the
that...
composition. Wait 1 second. I wanna. You make a statement, okay? So tell me exactly what composition of protein my dish has. It is a vegan tikka masala that I'm eating right now. What composition of protein does it have? And what composition of protein does a non-vegan tikka masala have? That it makes it
Let
so that, like, just tell me all these all these details about the protein and the composition that you say is
like
different.
chicken has 60% protein,
Chicken has what?
60% or something like that.
Somebody
And
else is
the
talking, and we need them to stop talking for a
Just
second.
mute
Go
them.
on.
Just mute, what's the name? SK Patel.
SK Patel. Okay. SK Patel, please be quiet for a second, or
Just mute
otherwise you will be
Just
muted
mute them
so
yourself.
that we can finish this conversation. Cucumber, go on. Please tell me the composition of protein in these two dishes.
I like I don't have any idea about chicken tikka masala. Or I mean, I don't eat that, so I have no idea about what you're talking.
So wait, let me
I
see if I
haven't
understand
eaten it.
correctly. So you make claims that plant-based food is not
Have lesser protein
sufficient
than
enough, has less protein, yet you have zero knowledge about a plant-based dish. Okay, tell me
no.
what dish do you eat and tell me how much protein that dish has, and then tell me what vegan alternative you could be eating, what plant-based alternative you could be eating, and how much protein that would have. Because obviously you seem to think that if you
100
are swapping and making a plant-based dish, then you would be getting less protein. So I am curious, how? Tell me exactly how that happens.
100-gram chicken has 27-gram protein,
Per
and
100 grams.
it's per 100 grams.
SK
So
Patel,
soy
please,
chunks.
please, hold on, everybody. SK Patel, please mute yourself or I'm gonna have to ban you. It's just part of TOS of this
I
server.
already did.
Oh,
I
okay.
already did.
That's fine. Or sorry.
So you said 27 grams of protein per 100 grams. Let's fact check that first of all.
Okay.
Chicken protein per 100 grams. I don't think that is true, by the way. Okay, 27 grams of protein. You are right. Do you know soy chunks, how much protein they have?
Yeah, that has 36 grams, but not all the protein digestible.
Okay,
soy
okay, so
chunks.
wait. So right now, soy chunks have more protein per 100 grams than chicken.
36
So you
grams.
get more
Yeah.
protein. Yeah, so you get more
Yeah.
protein from soy chunks than you would from chicken. Okay, so now what is the problem now? You get enough protein, it seems to me.
No, it's not that digestible, and you can't eat 100 gram of soya chunks.
Oh, it's not digestible. Please explain to me why it is not digestible.
You can fact check it. Like
I'm a
but he's
certified
asking
nutritionist,
you.
dude.
He's asking
I'm asking you. You're making the statement. I know that that's
okay,
not true, so I'm asking you.
Do you think you can eat 100 grams soya chunks? It gets
Yes.
cooked in. It gets cooked in it swells up when you cook it. So like 100-gram raw soya chunks will be like 300 gram of food or something.
Okay. Who cares?
So it's harder to eat 300 gram versus the 100 gram of
How much
chicken.
protein did you have yesterday exactly? I'm just like, I'm failing to see the point, you know? Like, do you know how much protein you had yesterday?
I don't count.
You don't count. So do you know how much protein I had? I count. I count every day. I have at least 250 grams of protein. You want to bet that every single day I have more protein than you do?
I'm vegetarian, so yeah.
I don't even understand your whole perspective of it. Like, I don't even understand. Do you honestly believe, against the scientific consensus, that you can have a absolutely sufficient and empowering plant-based diet?
I said it's harder to get protein from plants.
But it is not
You,
impossible. Or you just say it's harder, but it's not impossible, correct?
yeah, yeah.
So then if you can get all the protein and all the macro and micronutrient requirements on a plant-based diet, then how can you morally justify exploiting animals?
I'm also vegetarian. I'm saying some people
I'm not
prefer
vegetarian. I
to.
don't exploit animals, my man. You are vegetarian. That means you exploit animals, as you say, because you consume animal products, do you not?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so for those animal products, do you think animals were exploited to produce those products?
Yeah.
So you do support animal exploitation. So I'll ask you again, how can you
Do
morally
I?
justify supporting animal exploitation knowing that you don't need to?
Because I don't have any other alternate.
Okay, so now let me ask you this. If we provide you with alternatives and sources to help you thrive on a plant-based diet, then do you see it as obligatory that you no longer participate in animal exploitation?
Personally, if you're talking about me, yes.
Okay, well, simple. Then we'll have resources, and I'm assuming starting from now on, you no longer see animals as objects, and you'll consume a plant-based diet, and you will be vegan. Am I correct?
I mean, if I get all the resources to be a vegan, I will prefer to be a vegan.
Sure. I mean, VPN posted in the chat. I'll post it again. It's called Challenge 22. They hook you up with a nutritionist, send you recipes every day, and help you go vegan for free within your region and within your budget. Here you go. I posted it in the chat right now. So that means going forward, no more animals are exploited on your behalf, correct?
If I can afford it.
As I
Yeah.
said, they'll help you within your budget. You just gotta subscribe. Does that mean that right now you will subscribe to Challenge 22?
I mean, it will be very hard in my country to go full vegan. You can be vegetarian, it's easy.
So wait a minute. I tell you, I provide you with resources to help you within your country. I tell you, all you gotta do is subscribe. Just put in your email. They'll contact you. They'll help you out with everything within your country, within your budget to be vegan. And all of a sudden, you no longer want to do it.
Also,
Once
that's
it will
bullshit. Like, your
harder,
country is probably the easiest country to. Yeah, is
they're talking
easy.
about vegan, not vegetarian.
I said vegan. I am vegan, and I'm in. There are other.
You
No,
don't
just-
drink milk?
No, I don't. I know what vegan is, bro. Look, you're someone
you-
who's never even tried vegan. You don't know, right? I am someone who, so I can speak from experience. It's not as hard as you think, right? It's all in your head. Like Chip literally said, if you had the resources for even within that country, right? You're just looking. Sorry to interrupt you.
So
No,
you
that's
don't
fine.
drink milk in India?
No,
You're just cutting in and out a bit, Silver. I'm not sure if it's your audio, but otherwise,
it's my
please
internet. It's my internet. You can continue. And no, I don't drink milk like this. Either soy milk or I just go without it.
How much soya milk cost?
It's not too bad, but I don't have it that regular. It's like it depends on the store. So I don't live regularly there. But when I do go,
Still,
I would get. Mhm.
still like how much approximately?
I don't know. It depends on your region, bro. I haven't been there in a while. It's not that expensive, but it works. It gets the job done. And you don't need it, right? Like that's the thing. You don't need to have soy milk. What you need is nutrition, and you can get nutrition from plant-based sources for cheaper.
Yeah, I don't drink milk. Like soy milk, plant milks either.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Wait, why?
Me personally, because of the package, I just got sick of throwing out the package every single day.
You know
There's
what?
no
I get
nutritional
that. Yeah,
reason.
that's fair.
Nutritionally,
How about you, Chip?
yeah. I also like
For me,
drink
it's just a
protein
matter.
powder, so it doesn't matter to me.
For me, it's just a matter of empty calories. I feel like whenever I put any type of milk somewhere, I just get empty calories.
No,
Fair
they're
enough.
not that empty. There is nutrition.
Yeah.
But it's watered down. Yeah, I guess.
Not as dense.
I mean, I'm not getting any satisfaction from it because it just blends in all the taste anyway. So might as well put water instead of milk.
What? Come on. Okay, I don't want to pull this conversation to a tangent, but Chip, that's crazy.
I'm pretty crazy sometimes.
But yeah, you don't need milk alternatives to cucumber. But if you do, there are as well. It depends. You could go to your local supermarket. There is vegan milk. Yeah, you can make it yourself as well. It's not too hard. I've made oat milk at home. But yeah, India is like the easiest country because it's so vegan, vegetarian friendly already, right? Like all the dishes, you can veganize them so easy. Like India is country wise, one of the.
It is vegetarian friendly, not vegan friendly.
Well, no, but because it's the most vegetarian friendly, it's also the most, right?
No, like most of the things like paneer or lassi.
Paneer isn't a common dish,
stuff.
yeah? Lassi isn't a common dish either, right? What's common is chapai and curries. Like the main meals are all vegan, right? Paneer dishes are special, right? You don't have paneer every day. You don't have lassi every day. What you have every day is dal and khichdi and shak and chapati and bhakri and roti. All of these vegan. Lentils, all of these vegan. Your everyday common dishes, they're vegan, bro.
I only eat paneer and potato. Just it. I'm picky eater. I can't change my diet.
You can.
Okay,
you can choose
you
to
don't
eat
want
tofu
to.
and potato. Yeah.
Hey, so I have a question.
Wait, one second
Okay,
before
okay,
that. So cucumber, it seems to me like we provided you with all the resources. You had a conversation with somebody who is from your country who's also vegan. Why exactly do you want to continue supporting animal exploitation?
You're looking for excuses to see why it's hard. You're not even attempting to try it.
My favorite dish is paneer, so I can't change.
So your favorite dish is coming out of animal exploitation, and that somehow morally justifies it because you like the taste of it?
No. How can you say getting milk from getting milk from cow is animal exploitation?
Basically preference.
Wait. That's not what we're talking about. Please, let's finish the conversation with cucumber. So cucumber, we have already established that for milk, animals are exploited, correct?
I have seen cows in farm. They take good care of cows here. They roam all the time.
Cucumber, are cows exploited for milk or not?
They live safer in the farm than in wild.
Cucumber, that's not what I'm asking. Are cows exploited for milk or not?
Maybe you can call it that.
Exploitation means unfair usage. Is it unfair?
It's more, I mean, personally, if I was a cow, I would prefer to live in a farm than in wild.
Okay, let's go through this a little bit because I don't think that's true. So cows, why do cows produce milk in the first place?
For their baby.
Okay, so they have to have babies. Do you think cows decide when they want to have babies, or do you think farmers decide for them?
Farmers do.
Okay, so if you would rather be in a place where somebody decides when you're going to get pregnant, that's what you're saying. So you'd rather not have autonomy over when you get pregnant or not.
That's better than getting starved or getting killed in wild. according
That's
to
not
me.
what I'm asking. You're creating a false dichotomy. You said you'd rather live on a farm as a cow. So I'm
Yes.
curious, right now, would you rather live where you are right now, or would you rather live on a farm as a cow being sexually exploited by a farmer?
Are you talking about living in wild or living as human? I mean, are you talking
Let's
about
move on.
living?
Let's move on. Let's move on because it's clearly not getting. So is it fair for farmers to sexually exploit cows? Is it fair for farmers to decide for the cows when they get pregnant?
No.
No. So it is unfair. So that is the essential part of producing milk is farmers deciding for cows when they get pregnant. There's a lot more to be said there. But let's just start from this. That means it's unfair. You unfairly use that animal. So you unfairly exploit them. You unfairly use them, therefore you exploit them, correct?
I mean, I agree with you, but don't you think it's better than living in wild?
That's not what I'm asking. That's not what the point is. So
I
again,
agree.
so is it
I agree
it's
with you.
exploitation? Okay, thank
Yes.
you. So then I'm going to ask you again, knowing that you can choose to not participate in animal exploitation, needless, might I add, needless animal exploitation, how is it justified for you to participate in it? How can you morally justify saying, no, I'm going to pay for animals to be exploited because I like the taste of the product that I get? Yeah, listen, this whole AI thing, we gotta stop this because we were talking to Cucumber, Kesu, you just putting like an AI voice and responding to this doesn't mean anything. So Cucumber, again, how does that morally justify you participating in needless animal exploitation? Does it justify, is it justified to, if you get pleasure from it, taste pleasure, to exploit an animal, to sexually exploit them?
My point is, I feel that it's better alternate for them to live in a farm than in wild.
No.
So
Because you see, you're creating a false dichotomy. Because you see, these animals are brought into existence for the sole purpose of being sexually exploited and slaughtered. So you are creating a false dichotomy. And all of a sudden you're saying, well, they would be better off than in the wild. That's not the point. It's like me bringing to life humans to keep them in my basement so that they do my chores, and me justifying it by saying, well, it's better if than if they were on the street. Okay, this isn't that. We're not creating scenarios where the life that I'm giving them is somewhat better than any life they could have. Sure, there's always that situation, but you are put in a position where you can choose to either exploit or not exploit them. So my question to you is, how is it that you can morally justify choosing to exploit them for your taste pleasure?
because it is the best life that they can live.
No. So you're saying that your justification of exploiting them for taste pleasure is because you're doing it for them?
No, I'm
So
just
you're not
saying
doing it for
it's.
them.
I said I agree with your points, but you can't just say it's exploitation. I mean it's exploitation, but it's a better alternate for them too.
So let me see if I understand. You acknowledge that it is exploitation. You acknowledge
Yeah,
that this whole it's better. Do you acknowledge that this whole it's better thing means nothing? Because it's better than them being in the wild means nothing, does it? As I said, if I bring to existence humans and I put them in my basement, I give them all the food and water that they need, it's better than if these human beings were on a raft going towards towards the Niagara Falls or something, or it's better if they were on than if they were on the street, or it's better than if they were on the in the wild. You can like you do you understand that the fact that they're in this situation and there are worse situations that they can be in doesn't morally justify you putting them in that situation. Do you understand that?
like you're talking about exceptions. I'm talking about statistically significant life that they could have if there were.
Wait. I'm talking about morality. So what you're saying right now is that because something is more prevalent to happen, then it is morally, it is more moral than if something is less prevalent to happen?
I'm don't you think just I mean, don't you think it's better for them to live in farms than in wild? Just a simple
Jesus
point.
Christ, you just
Do
can't
you
seem
know
to.
most of the
Do you
cows
Yes,
wouldn't
really?
have been born? They
yes
wouldn't
or
have been
no?
born if they were not born if the cow dairy industry was not here. They are born given birth by force. They are not naturally born.
But this
You
is a really dumb argument because you can say like, well, some slaves were born to be slaves, so it's good that they're slaves because otherwise they wouldn't
Yeah.
be like they wouldn't exist. It's just a really
you
dumb.
can argue same thing about pets too.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you know, but vegans are against breeding animals. Vegans are in favor of saving animals and helping animals if they really needed the help. Like if I saw a bird on the floor, on the sidewalk, I would approach it and see what's wrong with it. But I wouldn't like pay people to give me birds to take care of.
Jesus Christ. Can we move on to something?
Yeah.
Xiong said that he will go vegan if we prove to him that you can be vegan. You can be nutritiously complete on a plant-based diet. So, Chip, can you take that?
Sure. You have a problem with you say you can't be do you acknowledge where do you live first of all? I don't even know who I'm talking to right now.
Xiong.
Oh, Xiong. Okay. Oh, we've
Oh,
already
me?
discussed with
Yeah.
him.
Xiong,
Yeah,
we're talking
we've
to you now. So you said in the chat that I asked you a question. If we prove to you that a vegan diet can be nutritiously full, would you go vegan? You said yes.
Yes, but can I say what I mean by proof?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what exactly is proof to you? That's a good point.
The only way that you can actually prove to me is, let's say like saying a person next to me and feed them only plants, and you can design any kind of diet to him, or nuts and seeds, vegetable, anything other than supplement, and I will make sure to see if this person doesn't take any supplement, and we do it for 5 years, and if he still looks healthy, if like then
Wait,
I
what's
will
the problem with
believe
supplements?
that.
I'm just like also like so wait your whole
Well,
existence
then
first of all what's
I
the
agree
problem
that.
with
I
supplements
agree.
and
You say
second
that
you wait no you say that you will go vegan if you inspect the life of somebody for 5 years and they're still vegan. Really, you don't trust empirical data, you don't trust meta-analysis. What is it exactly that you need other than like it's just like that's still an anecdotal experience, is it not? You inspecting a person, you should trust empirical data over that.
yes, but wait, post-mortem, what did you just say like before that?
What's the problem with supplements?
Yes, a supplement. So if you say that you can thrive on vegan diet if you take supplement, then I totally agree. I agree with that.
Cool.
But
Then
my
you should go vegan.
take
Lego.
is you can't.
You should go vegan. What's the problem with supplements?
Yeah, but I don't have money to buy all those zinc pill and heme iron pill and the vitamin pill. I don't want.
Sorry, supplements are cheaper than nutrition usually. They're like
Also-
pennies per day.
Wait, pause. They claim that they need heme iron
Oh.
pills or whatever.
You don't need that. You definitely should go for like the plant iron instead of heme iron. Heme iron is terrible for your health.
Yeah.
Okay, then that's still pill then.
Yeah.
I don't want to take any. Like,
Why? What's the problem?
I just don't. Well, I just don't want to do it. I guess
Wait,
I
wait,
just
wait.
don't want to
I
wake
have a
up in
question.
the morning taking pills. I just don't feel like it.
So if we invent a pill that keeps you that keeps you from growing old, you no longer grow old, you always stay at the age that you want to be at, because I don't know what age you're at right now. So you just have to take this pill every day for the rest of your life, and you might even live forever. You might live as long as you take this pill, let's imagine. Would you not take this pill?
I would definitely take the pill, but
there you go.
That's not the. That's
go.
not the.
Yo,
That's
I have
where
a whole
the
different line
benefit
of
outweigh
argumentation.
the.
I feel like this guy's flailing. Okay, stop talking to this guy. Who's this guy? This is are you all vegans?
Some of us.
I'm not.
Okay, most of you.
No.
Okay. Is
Some of
when
us.
can I bring something up maybe after you guys are done with this guy? I don't know how to get a cut in.
So
I
here's the
also
thing,
want to
Sion.
ask a question after he's done.
Yeah, later on. Okay, so here's the thing, Sion. You can take an incredibly cheap. Sorry, you can. Sorry, I'm working out. You can take an incredibly.
Incredibly chill pill. Calm down, mate.
Yeah.
Chill pill. Take a chill pill.
Yeah, you can take an incredibly cheap pill, which is the cheapest nutrition on earth, taking it in a multi-supplement. And you can eat whatever you want in plant forms. And as a reward for that, you don't exploit and slaughter animals with your money, with your consumption. I don't see the downside. What's the downside? You must care so little about the animal and the animal's life and the wants and needs that you're not even willing to take one multivitamin pill.
Yeah, that's it. You
Yeah.
summed it up pretty.
That's kind of
pretty
fucked
good.
up, though, right? If I told you, if you take a pill, you can save a human life every single day, would you do it?
Yeah, but
You don't even have to go that way. It's just like if you had like a medical condition, you would take a pill every day. So we both know that you would have the facilities to take a pill every day, right?
Yeah, how weak can
Yeah,
you be to say,
But I mean, there
I
is
just
a
don't want to
difference,
take
though,
a
because
pill, so I'm
you
not
also
willing
have
to
to
save a
recognize
life.
it's a little dishonest to go, oh, you just have to take a pill, because that's not the equivalent to being vegan and taking supplements, right? Because that's also you're not if you do that and you're actually talking about being vegan and taking supplement pills, you also have to account for the fact that you're cutting out all these pleasurable things in life, right? It's not just not just taking a pill. It's also not eating meat. So you can't just come with the
Wait, but
equivalent of, oh,
the issue is there is a victim in the choice.
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be a victim, right?
Also,
that's what I was
wait.
gonna ask. Are you guys
Wait,
saying there's
wait.
no such thing as ethical meat consumption?
Well,
Wait,
yeah,
how
if you
do you-
like roadkill, if you eat roadkill, sure, then we wouldn't
Why
have a problem with
roadkill?
it.
Why
Roadkill,
roadkill?
yeah.
What if you keep a chicken from birth to end
No,
of
then
life?
you killing them. They're fucking you killing them.
They're gonna die anyway. So what
Yeah,
if
but
you
you're
kill
killing
them?
them prematurely. You're also gonna die anyway. Can I kill you now?
No, I'm a human being.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah, then
chicken.
it's
That's
moral in the
different.
case of a chicken as well, unless you can.
Why? Why a human is not a chicken?
Hey, guys,
Yeah, we're
guys,
not
it's
saying a
going
human is a
to-
chicken.
Yeah,
So-
but that's what you're saying. You're saying,
No,
oh,
no,
if
no,
you
no,
can kill a
hold on.
chicken, I can kill you.
Lion.
Then you're saying a human is
Lion.
a chicken because
Totally not.
I'm not
No,
a
no, no,
lion.
no.
I am a human.
Lion, stop,
Yeah.
stop. So if you look on the, I'm sharing a screen. If you look at my screen share, right, I'll explain to you what's going on, right? Tell me when you're looking.
I'm looking at. Is that the A and H thing?
Yeah. So you have
Okay,
a
I'm
green
looking.
circle here. That's an animal, right? And you have a yellow circle here. That is a human. So each of
Yeah.
them have their own kind of stuff going on, right? Their own traits. So some animals can fly. That's a trait of an animal. Some animals can wag their tails. That's a trait of an animal. And then you have humans, and you have like human traits, all the stuff that are in humans. So their capacity to feel like experience life incredibly deeply and whatever, right? Like reason really deeply as well. So we're not saying that human and animal are the same thing. We're not saying this is it, right? If you imagine this Venn diagram, that animal and human are the same circle. What we're saying is that there is something between a human and an animal, right? That we have that like this Venn diagram middle ground between animal
I
and
understand
human.
what you're saying, but you also
Yeah.
have to recognize then that the difference between the size of the A and the H here is completely
It doesn't
What
matter.
is the word?
Don't worry
it's
about
not,
the size.
No,
I can make it
it
bigger.
does
That's
matter
fine.
though.
Okay, I can make it bigger if you want. If you like really want, I can make it like really
No,
big.
but what I'm saying
bigger.
is in your
It
analogy,
doesn't
if
matter
we're gonna
though.
use
It
if we're
doesn't
gonna
matter.
use imagery, we can't use images
There
and
you-
symbols to
Look,
describe. I mean, if
Lion, you gotta
Yeah.
listen. It doesn't matter. Here, I made H
no,
much
but the thing
bigger.
is, the difference between the animal traits you describe, being able to move their body parts physically, and like the human conscious experience is you can't put those two little circles next to each other and say, oh look, they're so close. Look, the animals are
Crystal,
a little
stop.
smaller.
So, Lion, here's the thing. Animals also have
It's
the...
profoundly different.
Yeah,
the
no.
human conscious experience.
No, you're wrong. Listen, Lion, you gotta listen, and Crystal, you gotta shut up.
No, you gotta listen. Am I wrong that the human conscious experience is profoundly
Crystal, please be
different?
quiet.
Wait, I'm gonna start moderating.
No,
I want this
anonymous.
conversation
Crystal, please be
to go
quiet.
between. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna moderate. I want this conversation to go between two individuals. Lion, I appreciate you jumping in, but at least let them talk.
Can you
Oh,
mute
I feel like
Crystal,
the other
please,
guy is
Derek?
done now. I thought this was me and this person now.
Yeah, I'm just trying to moderate, so it is between both of you. Someone else just has jumped in and stuff. But I also want you to just not like start interrupting each other. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just
yeah, I'll
please.
try that. I'll try that. But she does that also.
Yeah, can you
or
please
he or
allow
she.
me though to explain? I only try to stop you when you're not allowing me to explain, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
animals do have this conscious experience. Yes, it's less than this of a human because human beings have like this extra layer called like the higher consciousness, but we all have the basal consciousness. And that's my claim. Because we all have this basal consciousness, that animals and humans both have those, right? And animals, generally speaking, if you put them in the slaughterhouse, they don't want to be there. They want to leave, right? If you're trying to kill an animal and they know that you're trying to kill them, they want to leave, right? So this experience, because they have consciousness, it's not okay to put them in a slaughterhouse. It's not okay to exploit them. It's not okay to slit their throat. That's the only claim I'm making. I'm not making the claim that they are the same. I'm making the claim that they have this shared experience, the humans and the animals, and that's called sentience.
Okay, you're saying like 3 different points, and I just need to also be able to remember it by the time you're done, right? I'm just saying, you're talking about. Can you repeat your first point about yeah, you're saying it's the same basal conscious experience, right?
Yeah.
But you cannot prove to me that it is
I can.
similar enough. No, you cannot.
Yeah, sure,
You're
I can.
you're not inside of a pig's brain. You're not inside of. Oh no. So that's the first thing, right? So you're just extrapolating.
No. So let's start on the first thing.
No,
let's
so
continue on the first
you can't interrupt me. I didn't interrupt you. You shouldn't interrupt me.
No, but let's
right?
continue on the first thing. You made a
No,
claim
you
about my
interrupted
first
me.
thing. Let's continue about
Where's
that.
the moderator? Where's the moderator? Bring the moderator.
Okay, yeah, Lion, I think this is a good point. Let's work through one stage at a time. So first you said you cannot compare those things, right?
No,
so,
listen, be fair. Let me finish my whole point and then we can go into it.
Sure,
Yeah, but your whole point is going to be new points. So let's
hold on. They can address all of the points, but at the end of all of those points, let's go back to the first one, okay?
Okay.
Sure.
But go ahead. Go ahead, Lion.
Okay, if we're gonna talk about the first point, explain to me in like 1 or 2 sentences without saying the whole thing. Just say what your main point is at the beginning there. Just say, like, make it articulated clearly, yeah?
Sure. So animals and humans both have basal consciousness, and that basal consciousness makes both animals and humans individuals. And for the same reason, it's not okay to kill humans, it's not okay to kill animals as well. That's my entire point, by the way.
Okay, so the jump you're making is between, if this thing has a basal consciousness, you should respect its being as much as a human being, right?
Well, not as much, but
where do you get that? Where do you
it.
get that from? Because I'm saying I'm saying it's wrong to kill humans because we're humans, right? So you can't just say, we both have basal consciousness. I'm not respecting basal consciousness. I'm respecting human consciousness.
Why not?
Yeah, I want to jump in. And when you say we should respect humans for being human, this is like saying I should respect white people for being white. I should not.
No,
respect
it's not. Why?
Okay,
It is,
so
yes. It's circular reasoning.
Hold on. I want you to explain to me what is so special about respecting only humans. So we can go from there.
Okay, what do you mean by that? Why is it so
So
special?
when you say I should respect these individuals for being similar to me, this is a very similar argument that could be used for racism and other things. So when you say we should respect humans because we're human, I want you to kind of elaborate on it, please.
Well,
what trait do humans have that make them?
Are you talking about morally?
Yes, this is a moral-based VC.
So yeah, okay. So why should we consider humans morally? Is that the question?
My question for you is like, why should we only care about giving respect to humans? Why should we cause unnecessary suffering to any non-humans?
Wait, the thing is, that's not a fair way of asking that question because I'm not saying we should cause unnecessary harm to not.
Amazing.
That's not what I'm saying, right?
I can ask the question. So the question
I'm not arguing.
is simple.
We should
Okay.
unnecessarily harm animals.
Lion, the question is this way. Imagine there's a being in front of you. Doesn't matter biological or not. Hell, you can even imagine a computer who just recently gained consciousness. And this
Yeah.
computer has power over, like, I don't know, they can have power over everybody on this planet. They can choose to kill humans, exploit humans, kill animals, exploit animals, right? But they don't really understand any form of morality whatsoever, right? So you want to explain to this individual, because you say, well, we should respect humans because they're humans. And this individual will be like, well, I don't understand that logic, because it is circular reasoning, right? Saying we should respect X because they're X is not a logical statement. It's just, it means nothing. So what is it about humans that means that they deserve respect?
Wait, okay, no, this is my problem. You want to baseline it to, oh, do they deserve respect or not? But what you're making now to be is as if my point is, oh, you should be able to just kick dogs because it's fun.
No.
That's not what I'm
No.
saying. But you are.
Did you hear my question? What was my question?
You want me to repeat your question to you?
Yes.
Or more like a
Why?
statement than a question.
Because you weren't listening. I was asking you, what is it about humans that makes this so that we need to respect them?
Why should we respect human beings? Because it's right? And you're asking why is it right?
This is yet again circular reasoning.
But no,
I'm asking you, why is it wrong to disrespect humans? Not why is it right to respect humans, or because it is right, or because they are humans. I don't need, so the whole statement is, it is right to respect humans. It is wrong to disrespect humans. I'm asking you why.
There could be a million reasons why, right? But one reason is because you want to feel good. You want to feel like a moral being. Because doing bad things to people only
why is it bad
as a
to
human
do
being,
something to people? Why is it bad though?
Well,
Why?
I can use like my basic empathy. If something bad happens to me, I wouldn't like that. So I can think, oh, I wouldn't want someone else to go through something bad, right?
Hey, progress.
No, but it's not progress. I'm not saying you should just be able to completely neglect an animal's like morally. You shouldn't. It shouldn't be complete neglect. I'm not saying that
progress because we're progressing the conversation to somewhere where we can talk about morals, and we can actually
please listen. My statement is that you can be a moral, you can be an ethic meat eater, right?
But okay, we'll get there. But before we get there, we have to go through all of this, believe it or not. Okay, so please get some patience. Have some patience, and and we'll get you there, and we'll explain to you our position. If you're actually interested in hearing our position, you will get you there. But we have to get you through these steps.
Okay, but let's streamline it. I'll say this, right? I think we should respect human beings because that's the only way we can have a society that works. Okay? And we can skip all the moral fundamental and just move on to the actual subject. Yeah, go on.
Okay. So what if there's human beings who are outside of this society? They do nothing to society, therefore. Maybe they live in a forest or something. There's just one individual human being. They live in the forest. They live outside of society. Should I be respecting them?
Yeah, you should be respecting them.
But it does not follow the rule that you just said now. We should be respecting human beings because they benefit to society. So right now, this human being...
No, hold up. In a vacuum, sure, there might be one guy that lives outside society and everyone else lives in society. But in real life, that's not how it works. If there was one guy living outside of society, there could be a million reasons why that has happened and why that could happen again, right? So it still wouldn't work if we're talking about making civilization work, because any one person can be the one guy in the forest then. And then
you gotta Lion, for context, you gotta understand we're talking about two individuals in this matter, okay? We're not talking about the whole society. We're not talking about plenitude.
But why? We live in a whole society.
Because if you want to understand our perspective, you gotta start from here. There's an individual in front of you, and what we're trying to accomplish, if it's okay or if it's moral for us to exploit that individual, okay? So right now, you're saying that if that individual is human being, then it is immoral to exploit them.
Okay,
so I'm asking you, why is it immoral to exploit them?
I want to understand your perspective. Why don't you just answer the question? Tell me, why is it immoral to exploit that person according to you?
Why is it immoral to exploit a human being? Because they're sentient.
Okay, so because they're sentient.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why? Why? Because they're sentient.
Because that means they have a subjective experience of the world. That means they have experiences, and that means that you exploiting them would mean that they would have an experience of that exploitation. Whether that experience means suffering or not is a different perspective, and it doesn't really matter. All that matters is that maybe that individual did not have a preference for you to exploit them or for
Yes,
you to
and
use them
why
unfairly. And
why
therefore,
is that
because
wrong
they
then?
have this experience, because they have this will, then we should be respecting their experience and their will, especially given that we don't need to.
Okay. Oh, and from my understanding, you're saying this goes for humans, but this goes for all consciousness. So that includes also animals.
Yep.
Well,
right. Okay. Okay,
yeah.
that's fine. But then finally, we're getting to the point that I'm saying, where I'm saying, okay, fair, but we shouldn't be exploiting animals. I'm not coming here and arguing all meat industry is okay. I said you can be an ethical meat eater.
Okay,
There's
okay,
a big
wait a minute.
difference. And you all said,
Wait a
no, you
minute.
can't be an ethical meat eater. That's of course.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So right now, there's an individual in front of you, and you're saying it's wrong to exploit them even if they're an animal, correct?
To some degree, sure, yeah.
Wait. All of the sudden, it is to some degree. Which degree makes it okay to exploit an animal?
Okay, because when you're basing your morality and I'm imposing a bad experience for a person, and then you don't even have the facilities to understand how their consciousness is generated, right? For a human being, it's easy to say, oh, I'm imposing a bad experience on you because I know for me, I can have bad experiences, right? Or not even just bad experiences, nuanced experiences, right?
So let me put it this way. So you know that the individual in front of you has experiences that can be have both a positive valence and a negative valence.
Sure.
So then I'm asking you, if knowing this about this individual, that they can have both positive valence or negative valence experiences or emotions, when is it moral to exploit them?
First of all, right? Why I don't understand this. Okay, so we can both agree roadkill is fine to eat, right? Because
No, please,
you
listen,
don't agree.
we're not gonna get anywhere unless you answer this question. We have to establish at least some form of moral things that we agree on. Otherwise, we'll always get to them and we will never get anywhere. So what we're doing right now is we're establishing a moral baseline so that we have these communications, so that you can ask the questions that you're asking. Otherwise, when you ask these questions and we reach a moral baseline that is inherently different between you and I, we get nowhere.
Okay,
so that's why we ask this question.
Ask your question
So
again.
this individual in front of you, has both positive and negative valence emotions and experiences. When would it be moral for you to exploit this individual, given that there is no need for it?
Okay, I could say when there's unnecessary harm, right? Unnecessary harm. What about that one?
If there's no need to exploit this individual, then exploiting them is wrong always, correct?
Yeah, sure.
Does it matter if this individual is human or non-human?
Yes.
Why?
Because when we're talking about concepts of balanced emotions, that's still a very complicated human experience.
Hold on, Chip, could you change the question? Because I think it was a little bit more technical for Lion.
Sure. So the question is, the individual that you see in front of you has both positive and negative emotions, both positive and negative experiences throughout their life. You know this about them. The question is, when is it moral to exploit them? You said never if there is no need. But if they're somehow non-human, if they're not human,
it's kind of my problem with the way you're arguing, because my thing is, okay, so I can insult you and I can say your mom is a lazy cunt, right? I've put some bad. Maybe that affects you badly, makes you feel bad emotion, right? And maybe entertained me. Did I exploit you?
No. So exploitation is not about harm. Exploitation means unfair usage. Okay? It means unfair, using somebody unfairly and against their consent. Let's just put it this way. It's fairly simple. You use somebody unfairly and for your benefit and against their detriment. Okay? Do you understand that?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so right now, this individual in front of you, we've established that if they're human, then exploiting them is always wrong. But now my question is, if this individual is non-human, why is it okay? When is it okay to exploit them, knowing that still they have positive and negative experiences, positive and negative emotions?
Okay, so what? Okay, what if I ask then? What if we can eat meat without giving the
No,
animal?
dude. Again, like I've explained to you why it's important to form a moral baseline, and
No,
every time we
I'm
get
saying
close
even
to
if I
forming a
agree with
moral
you and I say,
baseline,
no,
you
even
come
if I
back to
agree with
something
you,
else.
no,
Right,
even if I
right,
agree with you and say exploitation
right.
is always wrong, animal or human, right? I'm saying you can
Okay.
eat animals without
Hold on,
exploitation.
hold on, Lion. I think I know where we're getting stuck. So the question right now is there ever an ethical way of killing an individual, human or non-human, when it's needless?
No,
Amazing. Go
no,
ahead, Chip.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but that's I just acknowledge that, right?
Okay.
No,
I'm saying
I
Okay.
just
for
wanted to.
animal is
Yeah.
wrong. You can't exploit them. Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Chip,
so
go
we've
ahead.
established that. We've established that regardless of their species,
You should not
exploiting
exploit them. Yes.
in an innocent individual is wrong. Okay?
Sure.
Okay, now you say when you say okay, we have a moral baseline. We both agree on that one. That is actually quite good, and I appreciate
No,
that. So
this
now,
is just
when you
retarded
say
philosophical circle jerk, right? We're not
okay, so
established yet.
no,
Let's
We need to
let
get to
me.
the practicals of it. We can both
Well,
agree
that's
it's
what,
wrong to exploit. We didn't need this.
Hold
dude,
on.
you have to
Lion.
for a second let me finish this question. I was going to ask you exactly the question you wanted to ask you. So please
Okay.
explain to me, but please listen.
Okay.
How can it be moral for you to consume the flesh of an individual without exploiting them when there is no need? Again.
Maybe they're dead already.
Well,
So, okay.
we already
So you're
addressed it in the
saying
beginning.
Yeah.
one second. So you're saying that if this individual in front of you is dead, then it is moral for you to consume their flesh.
Not necessarily, right? It depends because see, this is the crux of it, right? Because if I consume the human being, other people are impacted by that, right?
Well,
Every
it
single
doesn't.
person
It
that's
doesn't
known
mean.
or
Wait, if you
remember that.
consume a human being, it also impacts the actual fucking human being, doesn't it?
If they're dead, no, they don't
Yeah,
exist
if they.
Let's go
anymore.
with they're dead.
Yeah,
Let's go
If
with they're
they're
dead.
completely dead,
Then
that's fine. We're not talking about that. We're talking about
no, we are talking
killing.
about that.
No,
No,
wait
we're
one
talking
second.
about
Guys,
killing
are
guys,
talking
somebody.
about that.
guys,
We are
please,
talking
hold
about
on, hold on, moderator. Okay, Chip, go ahead.
We are talking about a dead individual, first of all. You're right. We are talking. So what you're saying is that if an animal is dead, like let's just put it this way. I don't even care if it's a human being. Let's put it with the animal, okay? If an animal is dead, you are saying it is moral for you to consume their flesh, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Is it moral if this animal is not dead for you to kill them and consume their flesh? All again in a
Yeah.
situation where you
Yeah.
don't need to do
Yeah,
it.
it is. Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Right now, you said that it's wrong to kill somebody if you don't need to do it, regardless if that somebody is human or non-human. And all of a sudden, you said that it's okay to kill a non-human, even if in both situations you don't need to do it. But all of a sudden, you seem to think that it's okay to kill them if you're going to eat their flesh.
I also want to say it's a contradiction based on.
It is.
Well,
yeah.
Well, we talked about exploitation, didn't we?
Okay, okay. Exploitation. Exploitation is unfair usage, is it not?
Yeah.
Do you think
Why is-
killing somebody is a fair usage of them or their body?
I just want to also clarify. We're talking about needless, right?
Needless exploitation, yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
So do you think
but then we found a bridge, right? Because if you need to do it, you think there is ethical meat consumption, right?
no? We
No,
can go
what do
down
you
that
mean
right. Wait,
no? What do
we
you
can
mean
go
no?
down the dude,
We don't have
we
to go
can go
any.
listen.
Okay, but why is
Listen,
there a
we can
different
we
route?
have to finish this whole situation. We have to finish this whole
No,
situation, okay?
we don't.
So, in the situation where it's needless, as it is today, as you are right now, if you're in a situation where you can choose to not kill an animal, do you think you would be acting morally if you choose to kill that animal for something you don't need?
I can
Is it
give an
okay?
example if you'd like. If it
No,
helps.
I don't think it's about needing.
I think it's very important to talk about this, and I can explain why. But I'll yeah. Do you remember Chip's question?
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
I don't understand
Okay.
what you're saying.
Chip, ask the question again, please.
So, I don't even remember my question because I was just amazed. So, in a situation where you don't need to kill an animal, how is it moral to kill an animal?
That's the question?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you have to convince me first that the animal deserves, right, to be morally considered.
So wait, all of the sudden you agreed that an animal deserves to be morally considered enough that you don't unfair use them, but all of the sudden they don't deserve enough for you to not take away their whole existence for something you don't need? Do you see the contradiction in that?
No, I don't understand what you're saying.
So, if I unfairly use an animal, if I unfairly use them against their consent?
How do you what kind of consent can a cow give?
Maybe Felix
The
can
same
address this, Chip. Give him a second.
I can make it super easy, right? I can just simply ask you, look, you have, let's say there are 2 plates in front of you. You can load them up with plants, or you can load them up with plants and kill the animal to also load it up with meat. Do you think, like, if they're both nutritionally adequate, they're both healthy, they both fill you up, which one is better? The one where you have to kill the animal, or the one where you don't have to kill the animal? Which one for you is ethically better?
The one where you don't have to kill an animal.
Cool. So if you live in a society, like let's say right now, because we don't know about your living situation, but let's say you live in a society where you can be vegan every single day, would you say that's a more ethical choice?
Yeah.
Cool.
Because then you can skip the whole complicated way of eating meat ethically in modern society, right?
Okay,
So
but
even if you try to be as ethical as possible, right? If you just go vegan, then you have no way of ever fucking up, right?
Okay, but we can talk about the
So
ethical thingy.
practically for a human being, yes. But I mean,
Yeah, but would you say, like, even in, how do you explain this? Give me a sec. Let me think. Do you ever think it is ethical to kill animals in a society that can be vegan?
Do I ever think it can be ethical? Yeah, of course, yeah.
How can you ethically kill an animal if there is no need to do it?
If there's no need to do it.
Yeah, so let me explain it. Let's say we have this imaginary country called Wakanda, right? And let's say everyone in Wakanda can be vegan, and they literally can, right?
Yeah.
What would be an ethical way to kill the animal in Wakanda if everyone can be vegan?
You could kill it towards end of life.
By the way, this killing them for your benefit, not for their benefit, right? Because there is such a thing as mercy killing, and just to be clear, we're talking about killing
we're not
for
talking
your
about mercy.
benefit.
Yeah. Towards end of life.
Do you think if we did this similar to humans, would that be okay? Do you think killing humans to eat them at the end of their life would be ethical?
No, I don't think so.
Why?
Because there could be multiple reasons, but one reason is because I don't want to impose a horrible experience on this human being or other human beings.
Okay, couldn't you have the same answer for the animal? Like,
no, because you can't tell me what kind of experience a pig has.
But
well,
would you
what
say...
if we find an animal, a human
like,
that has like...
if I pinch you right now, it's gonna be upsetting for you maybe, and it's gonna be bad.
Irritating.
Right? Yeah, it would irritate you, right?
Sure.
And if I pinch a pig, I don't know how it would feel. Probably bad, right?
We'll try pinching a dog because you have.
But
wait,
I can extend. Shut up,
Hey,
please.
hey,
You are
hold
not
on,
in this,
hold on, let him-
right?
let him-
So that's a pinch, right?
Sure.
And then if I like grab your arm and twist it and like pull on it a little bit, maybe you have a different experience, right? And it's still bad, right?
Sure.
And then maybe I punch your arm and it's still bad, but it's different. And then maybe like I scratch your arm and I lick your arm, like whatever the fuck, right? There's like an infinite amount of experience that we can match with an infinite amount of human feelings and experiences, right? You can't convert that to a pig. Like earlier, someone was saying, "Oh, you're gonna sexually, what was the word? Sexually exploit a cow because you're like impregnating them."
Yeah, I'll get
this,
that.
like how are we extrapolating?
I'll
Yeah.
get to that in a second because I think that's something also important, right? So first of all, we have to remember that when we're talking about these kind of animals, they are livestock animals. The reason why they are the way they are because they've been bred to be exploited, right?
They don't have
And
to be. If we're talking about ethical meat consumption, they don't have to be livestock
well,
animals.
hold on, but if you want to have some kind of animal agriculture, even the most ethical, the way you think the most ethical animal agriculture is,
Okay.
animal agriculture relies on exploiting animals and using animals, even if it's to the end of their life, right? Because livestock already has a name to it. Already
Wait,
named
so
to,
I don't get it. So it's unethical to be like a beekeeper and eat their bee? Aren't
what
you
would you?
exploiting the bee then?
Yeah, I wouldn't. I would not be okay with like production of honey. I can explain, but when it comes to like bees, it can be like pollination is a different kind of conversation. But yeah, no animal
You
products
gotta be
over
German, right? You're German.
Polish, close enough. But
Oh,
a
okay.
long story short, we as vegans don't want to exploit animals if we can, right? And the
Yeah.
reason why I'm telling you about the Wakanda or whatever, because why would you have animal farming in the country that relies only on plants and can survive and thrive on plants? There is no need to exploit them.
Because you can't prove to me that a pig being born, taken care of well, and given a good life their entire life until they're old, and then being killed is actually like a worse experience than them just dying naturally. You can't prove to me like
Wait. Which
yeah.
one is better? This is gonna be relevant, but which one is better? Being born into slavery or not being born at all?
But it's different when you can't concept what slavery is. It's different when you
I'll
can't
get to it. I'll get to it. But which one's better?
being born into slavery or
Not being born at all.
probably not being born at all.
Why?
Because then you haven't experienced slavery.
Okay, but then you're also not being exploited and all of the other things,
No, but you
right?
don't exist. But you don't. There's no
Yes.
you to talk about.
Yes. Oh my God. You're holy shit. The IQ of this room is growing every day. Let's go. Okay, amazing, right? So we could also, as smart individuals, we can make choices for other beings, right?
Sure.
And if we know that the only experience of the individual, let's say it's a human or the animal, is gonna be negative. If I knew that individual is gonna be born into slavery, it would be better if they were not born into the slavery.
I feel you, but also have you
Yes.
seen like a pig at like an ethical farm? They love their lives, bro. I don't understand. Like why are we comparing that to slavery? Like they have fields to graze on, they have a bunch of friends,
Cool.
they eat great, they eat good, like
So
people like them, they pet them. Like I don't understand how is that slavery?
would you be okay with farming dogs for meat?
Like if someone else did it, like in China,
Well,
yeah.
if they farmed animals, if they farmed dogs the same way that they farm that the farm that you're
I'm
thinking about.
against what people. I mean, I assume you guys would call all meat eating unethical, but I am against unethical meat production, right?
But hold on.
What a normal person would consider.
Wait, hold on.
So if people
Wait.
are ethically breeding dogs and eating them, I would feel bad about that because it just feels bad. That's not obviously you guys understand. It's
Why
not
does
the
it
same
feel
thing as
bad?
it.
Why does it
No,
feel
it
bad?
just feel. They're just feelings. I'm
But
not saying it's
why do you
rational.
feel bad about? Why
Because
do you
I
feel
like
bad?
dogs. Because I like dogs.
So if you didn't like
I
dogs,
don't
it
see
would
them
be
as food. I see them as like pets.
okay. But you see the problem with saying I feel like that. Therefore it's okay to like
No,
treat.
no, I'm not saying it's. I feel like that, so therefore it's okay. I'm saying I'm okay with the cows, pigs, horses, dogs, and anything else that you want to breed.
You're saying all that based on your feeling towards these animals because you
No,
said for
no,
dogs it's wrong. You
I
say
feel
for
bad about
dogs
the
you feel
dog, and I feel
yeah.
okay about the cow. But I'm saying both are
Exactly.
okay because my feelings are irrelevant. But I'm saying
Okay,
that
so
bringing
would
up
you
the dog
say
example only works to invoke like negative feelings, but it doesn't
no,
change the
it
rationale.
doesn't. It exposes the exact hypocrisy of your statement because you seem to think that if an individual is born a certain species, that you somehow have a connection with, then they're out of range. They should not be exploited, slaughtered, used as food,
Wait,
or
can I take out
anything.
the Felix?
But if
Felix,
an
you never-
individual is born a species that you were taught it's okay to exploit, then hell, let's continue doing it, because that's what you were
No,
taught, and
you're
that's how you feel
misunderstanding
about them.
completely. You're misunderstanding completely. I'm saying both are okay, regardless of my feeling.
Both
Okay,
are
so
okay. Wow.
that's fine, but we can
Please,
kind of
Felix,
wait,
please, not this
sure.
guy.
I'll move a little bit forward. So why is it wrong to? What's
No.
so special about humans that we cannot farm them?
No, can
Oh,
we actually
yeah.
can we go back and say, why did you say that an animal being born and live entire life and murdered towards the end is the same as slavery?
Yep, because one individual wants to use them for some kind of benefit. So, for example, if I forced you into a world where I exploit you for free labor, you wouldn't know about it. Let's say I teach you in school that, like, I don't teach you about slavery and anything like that, so you don't even know what it is. I would still say it's wrong because I'm exploiting another individual, right? Which
But
would
the
be
thing
you.
is, but you do understand how the examples don't work when you're applying them to me, a conscious being that can rationalize things and understand concepts.
Hold on,
and
hold on.
understand
There's
the
a bit.
concept of
Wait.
exploitation.
Wait. If you don't understand the concept of exploitation, is it
It's
okay for
not
me?
understanding. A baby can't understand. They're still employing the
No.
same conscious experience.
Baby
I'm saying
would not. Hold
I'm
on.
saying you don't even know if they know what understand is.
Okay, so if I have a human baby that literally has mental capability issues, then let's say even better. Right? That baby I know has a brain of a chicken. They literally are mentally disabled. They have a brain of a chicken. I can prove to you 100%, right? Would it be okay for me to treat them and use them like a chicken?
If they had the brain of a chicken?
Yes. Can I use them like a chicken?
I would say
like
no, because that's an anomaly, and you, in a hypothetical, being able to prove to me that they have the exact brain of a chicken is completely like it couldn't happen in real life. Even if you, a one guy, said, "Oh yeah, this guy has a head of a chicken," we wouldn't believe you because we would still think, "Oh."
I would love for you to just kind of explain why it would be wrong for me to exploit them.
Because it's probably a human being, and you in real life you couldn't prove they are a chicken.
But you see, wait. You and I have established that regardless of the species, it is wrong to exploit them if there is no need. All of a sudden, you're contradicting yourself.
Well, because when we talk about animals, the idea of exploit and the idea of need are very different.
Dude, we went through it step by step. You acknowledge that it's wrong to exploit an animal if there is no need. You acknowledge that.
But you don't acknowledge that it doesn't have to be exploitation. When you
Jesus fucking Christ, you were asked just now about exploitation and you said it's okay to exploit an animal.
I'm saying it's different for humans and animals. If I kill a human when they're 80, that's very different from killing an animal days
I'm
before
done with
they're
this person. This person does
There's
not
a
have the
difference.
rationalization capabilities
you
for
can
me to
only-
be able
you
to
can only
continue this
think-
discussion. Therefore, I should exploit
yeah.
you because you don't have the rationalization capabilities that I'd want to have in a
But
conversation, right?
I'm a
That's your
human being.
logic.
If you want to go about the world doing that, that's fine. But you would never exist in society.
Let's just
Wait, Bugai, I want to eat you, Bugai.
Hold on. We can just speed run this real quick. Lion, what trait would you remove from a human to make it okay to ethically farm them?
The structure to employ a human conscious experience.
Okay, so if there is a human and somehow we find out they do not have human experiences, does that mean that we can use them like a cattle, like livestock?
So you're saying if it was basically a chicken in a human body?
We can say that for the sake of the argument, sure.
That's where I have the problem, bro. Because if we're talking about vacuums and hypotheticals where we can impose objective knowledge, it's very different.
Could you please at least address?
Yes, sure. If we can magically know those things, sure. If it was like but I'm saying like.
Wait, if we could magically know what? Sorry.
If we could
Bugai,
objectively.
sounds cute. I want to eat you.
Wait, hold on. I need to like mute this person.
No,
Yeah,
it's
Lion,
still
go ahead.
Manoba. No,
If
I'm
you
I'm
want.
saying, sure, in a world where we could objectively understand that they're not humans, they're just in human bodies, and for some reason we wanted to put aside the fact that it disgusts us deeply, then sure, go for it. But I don't think that it would be a real thing, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, so your statement is it's okay to eat humans as long as they have a chicken brain.
No, I'm saying it's okay to eat humans as long as they're not humans.
Dude,
That's
Yeah.
what it's established right now.
so
It's okay
but-
to eat
but-
humans if they're not humans.
So if we find an anomaly where an individual, okay, if we find an anomaly where there's an individual, it's an
Can I
animal.
eat you
they
because
have,
I think you're a retard, not a human?
okay.
Who
Yeah,
you're
Ban
eating?
him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
using
Ban
slurs
him.
is against TOS, so I would advise against it.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll just there you go, remove them. Yeah,
No,
so
no.
just
Who
real
was-
quick,
yeah,
just to get to the point, if we find an anomaly of an animal that looks and has all of the human traits apart from the DNA, which makes them Homo sapien, let's say they're a different kind of ape, but they have all of the human traits, you would say it's okay to farm them like livestock.
Well, wait, it depends on what we're defining as farming as livestock. If you're talking about those chicken farms where they live like 1 centimeter away from each other and they eat their own poo, like no, that's not okay for anything.
Wait, I have an amazing example for you, right?
Yeah.
I always use this example. Have you heard of Sentinel Island?
Yeah.
Cool. So we have those individuals on the Sentinel Island. If we discover today that they're actually a different form of apes, they're not Homo sapiens, would you be okay with like taking them, washing them, cleaning them, and just like eating them after like 70 years?
Wait, what's that? Come on, man. Monte Cristo.
Could you please address
Yeah,
this?
no, I got attacked in my ears. You're saying if we could prove somehow, if you came up with the evidence that the Sentinel Islanders were not humans, they were just looked like humans, kind of, right? And that for some reason this is objectively, we know this for a fact. God told us this, right?
Sure.
Then someone else went and ate them. If I'm okay with that?
Sure.
Okay, now this is gonna sound crazy to you, right? But yes, but I wouldn't feel good about it.
There you go.
Right? So yes, but that's not the same thing as morally. So I don't feel good about people eating dogs in China. That doesn't mean I think.
But you have no issue with people like taking travel visas to go eat Sentinel Island people, right?
I would probably look at those human beings and say there's something wrong with you.
So you have an issue with them. Come on, this is just like you're trying to create this. You're trying to create this.
Rationale.
No.
That's why.
Listen. It's not about there's a difference. We all acknowledge there's a difference between feelings and being rational. But you are being highly irrational right now because when you're saying things like I find it okay, I wouldn't like it, I would condemn it, but I would find it okay, is a direct contradiction to what you just said just now. So would you condemn it or not, somebody to be eating individuals that look like humans, walk like humans, speak like humans, but they're not humans?
See, and that's the funny thing is that your argument only seems even slightly like persuasive if you have to make the animal into the shape of a human.
Dude, no, this is because we're trying to appeal to your moral baseline. Your moral baseline is that somebody taught you because somebody is born human, they have inherent value. You seem to not understand the idea that if somebody is sentient, they have inherent value on their own. And this is what we've been trying to explain to you time and time again, that it doesn't really matter if they're what species they are. If they're sentient, they have inherent value because they want to live. They want to experience. They have experiences.
How do you know that? How do you know they want to live?
Science.
Oh, because they try to run away when you put them in a slaughterhouse.
Okay, live in what sense? They want to stay alive. Plants want to live.
It's not worth
plants
it.
want
it's
to
not
live.
Worth
No,
it.
plants don't want anything.
This person is.
Plants want to live. That's
no,
why
plants
they
are not
away.
sentient. They don't want anything.
Yes,
To want, you need a brain.
I think when the question was addressed as like, how do you know animals want to live? I think this is getting to a point where it's going to be a bad faith conversation.
Yeah, it is. It already is. This person is not interested in having a conversation. They're just interested in naming things or reasons or why they want to continue doing this appalling thing.
No, it's just different because we're talking about a human being knows that they're gonna die eventually. An animal
Okay,
doesn't
well, answer the
know that.
question. Answer the question that we've been asking you consistently. What is the morally significant difference between a human being and an animal that justifies the difference in treatment?
The human being has a human conscious experience.
Okay, so if an animal has a conscious experience, an animal cannot. If an animal does not have a human conscious experience, or
Human conscious experience. So
if
the
a human
ability.
being, okay, if a human being does not have a human conscious experience, does that mean it's okay to exploit and slaughter them?
You could never know if they have a human conscious experience.
Okay, so all of the sudden, in the case of a human being, you cannot know if they have a human conscious experience, but in the case of an animal, you know for sure that they don't have a human conscious experience.
No,
You
I'm
see how
saying-
you pick and choose the arguments to suit your narrative?
Okay, so you're saying that if we took a human brain and removed all the parts that animals don't have, they would still have the same human.
We have the same parts in the brain. We have the same parts in the brain as animals do. That's why a lot of the things are tested on animals, because we are so damn similar to them. What
So
even is
you're
your
saying
argument?
an ant has the same brain as a human being?
This is bad faith. Okay, let's.
Yeah,
No,
it's
hold
not
up.
worth
An
it. Let's
ant-
not have this
you're saying
conversation.
an
This
ant
person
has the same brain as a
is
human being? Answer my question.
straw manning absolutely
Answer
every
the question.
argument.
Answer the question.
Can I?
Does an
Can I
ant
take
have
over
the
for a bit?
same brain as a human?
If you
No,
have
it
to ask
doesn't.
this question,
No, it doesn't, and that's an animal, isn't it?
Okay, yeah. So I
Does
don't
a
like how
cow
we
have?
keep channeling.
Chip,
Wait,
let
please, Chip. Just yeah. You already know and you recognize that suffering, animals suffer, and you're against that. You said that if you look down, or well, not look down, but you wouldn't like it when dogs are being eaten, right, in other countries, and you just are normalized with the fact that you eat cows, pigs, and that, right? You said that it's immoral. We don't need it, right?
Sorry, your microphone quality is really bad, and I can't really understand all the words.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna fix that. Just un momento, por favor.
Uh-oh.
Can we just make one dedication? This is the
Is this
last
better?
try. We are gonna.
No, it's the
This
same
is the
thing.
last time we try, and then we stop because I feel like
That's
we're
fine.
going in
That's fine.
circles with
I
this.
just every time we go
Is this better?
to a certain place,
Yeah,
you freak
Silva.
out. And
Yeah, Silva
Yeah.
can
Alright,
say
cool.
something. Go on.
sounds better. Yeah.
All right. I just want to fresh start. Okay, line. You agree that we don't need to eat animals, right?
Yeah. I don't think we need to eat animals to live.
Okay, and you eat it for taste, right?
Me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
the
choose to eat animals.
taste, texture, the feeling, all that.
Cool. I think so. You remember the analogy that Philip gave, right? A burger that gives you the same amount of nutrition, that kind of stuff. But to be honest, I don't even know why the conversation didn't just end there. Like, that was already a slam dunk, right? If you had a vegan burger and a burger with like meat in it, but both had equally same like nutrition and all of that kind of stuff. You said you would choose the vegan burger because it's obviously much more ethical, right?
No, I'm not saying I would always choose the most ethical thing.
So do you believe it's important to be an ethical person and make ethical choices?
Yeah, but you don't have to be completely ethical for you to be a good person, for example, right?
Oh.
Well, I don't want to make a testament on good person. I just want to make a testament on like, okay, you should do the ethical thing.
Should you always do the ethical thing at every single point in your life?
Yes, because it's ethical, right? I don't like beat up my wife only on Mondays.
Okay, but if we're all walking demons, then what's the point then of your ethics system? Because sure, like maybe you don't eat an animal, but you probably have an iPhone, right? So at some point
No, I
we're all. So where do you get your clothes from?
Second-handed or like ethical shops
And if
that
we go
don't.
through every device in your house, we're gonna find that all.
Yeah, all of my devices are ethical, right? But the point is,
And
right?
every
You're
furniture
appealing.
in your room, you don't go to IKEA,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't do any of that.
No, I
Every
don't. No, we
single
don't.
thing in your life. And what
Yes,
headphones are you
bro.
using right now?
I have Sony One, but they're like 6 years old, right? That's
Okay.
before I went vegan and ethical soon, right?
That's okay, but I'm saying for you to live your life, you're using other people's
Mhm.
products that they already bought, right? So it's just an extra
No.
step.
the point is we are having a conversation about should and what we ought to do, right? We can't change the past, right? And in fact, you tried to do that on me, but I already live a very ethical lifestyle, right? So it didn't work. But I get your point, right? It's
Oh,
hard
it
to live
did
an
work
ethical
because you
life.
had to slither
No,
out of it at the end. Yes, you did.
no, because what's it called? I'm not gonna feel guilty about something in the past I wasn't aware of, right? Can you be unethical if you are making choices you weren't aware of? No. But if
How
I
does
knew from the
Discord
future,
maintain their servers? What kind
No,
of
wait, dude,
no
dude.
serious
No,
seriously?
no, no.
Don't
I
sit
think
here.
we should
Don't sit here
stop
and
this
act.
conversation.
Don't sit
It's
here and
not
act like
going
oh
anywhere.
everything.
And
No, if the question is should you always do the most ethical thing, and you say yes you should, and
Wait,
yeah,
I
you
ask you are
always
you
should
doing it,
do.
and you're not, then you're
hold on,
proving my point. There's
guys.
no human being that
Hey,
can do that.
Lion, hold on. Silver wanted to address a point, and you kept like going into a tunnel to another tunnel. Silver, could you address the point, please?
yeah, this is an appeal to futility, right? We can't all be perfect, but we should all try to aim to be living as ethical as possible, right? If I found out that I am doing something unethical, you are more than welcome to educate me, and I'm going to try and change my way of living to be more ethical, right? I'm not going to say, oh, there's so many things I have to change. I'm going to give up all, right? I get that it's overwhelming, right? I get that it's hard, but we live in a world today on the backs of like people who fought for us, right? Who fought for a more ethical society, right? If we had this kind of attitude that there's nothing worth fighting for, there's too much unethical stuff going on, then we wouldn't be anywhere, right?
I
We
fully agree with
we
you,
make
and I think
we make
disagree
the
with
world a better place by
yeah.
making strides and like going against the grain and doing the harder stuff, which is more ethical.
Yes, and I agree with you. But then when we get to the example of the vegan versus non-vegan burger, right? And you're saying, what should you do? And you've isolated this one interaction and you go, oh, what should you do here? Right? But there's a million things like that every day. So then when you want to tell me, oh, you should be vegan and choose the vegan burger, and then I turn around, there's another choice and another choice and another choice, your only rationale at that point is, oh, you should do the most ethical thing every single time.
yeah, every single time you're presented with the option, you should make the ethical choice. Now, can we move
Yeah,
on, please? I don't
Okay,
think we
I
need to
like
this conversation
Hey,
is personal
Lion.
anymore.
okay, you're insane, but Felix and Silver.
Lion. I think you already said that you agree with him that like we should be fighting for what's ethical. So if you agree that we should be fighting for what's ethical, then you should be going vegan, and that's that. Like, there's no other way around it. Like, there's no but
We've
this,
already
there's no
agreed.
but that. Yeah, you already agreed that we
So-
should be fighting for what's ethical. So you already concede that going vegan is the right choice.
Or in the right direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be, but I don't think you have to be an ethical person.
No, let's just
Okay,
move on.
Let's move on.
I think
Yeah.
move on.
It's
Well,
not worth
I
it.
think the trees also have feelings, if you know that. yes,
Are we sure we want to move on? Really?
It
Are
is.
you
it is,
sure,
it
Chip?
is.
You sure you want to move on to this?
So I can.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. World
There is a
trees.
study.
We got
there is a
somebody. We got
studies-
somebody.
There is a
Yeah.
study shows that if you
Tell us the
take in
study
an
name.
apple,
Tell
if
us
you
the
take, I
link
will
the
show it.
study. Link the
Right
study in
now.
the description.
Right now.
Okay, so link
Right
it and then
now.
we'll have the conversation. Now let's move on.
Yeah, I
World
will
Trader,
send
Slave,
it to you.
you're a
It's okay.
legend. You're a legend.
That's fine.
Okay, so let's move on to the next person until this person links the study.
Yeah, Mylon, we were having a conversation in text. You here in the VC? Is he not here?
Hello, I'm here.
Uh-oh.
That feels.
So I just want to ask, like, how does it make meat eaters an immoral thing? I mean, like,
So
yeah, when
I
you
don't
eat meat,
like-
how is it immoral?
Yeah, okay. So
I can sorry,
Go on.
I can answer that.
Mhm.
So would you say that causing harm to somebody that doesn't cause harm to you is unethical?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the thing again? I'm sorry, I lagged a little
Yeah.
bit.
If somebody did not cause you harm, would you say it is
Mhm.
unethical to cause them harm?
I'm sorry, I'm also not good at English. What is unethical? Can you like provide a different word, the same as that?
Immoral.
Immoral.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not moral.
Yeah.
Well, when someone doesn't really do anything to you, I know that you shouldn't hurt them.
Mhm.
But like
Right,
we are
because
not the
it
one
would be
who's killing them, but we're eating them.
you're paying somebody. You're paying
Yeah,
somebody
that's
to
true.
kill.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I know. I respect all vegans because I know that you guys care a lot for the animals and you guys don't want to hurt animals. But the thing is, if that makes us immoral too, I mean, don't you feel like it's just you guys judging people as well? Because if you
No.
are, if that's, does it make you guys moral to not eat animals?
What?
That's so
I mean,
we're
aren't we
not
all
really.
human? I mean,
Could
yeah,
you
I mean,
could you
aren't we all
rephrase that?
humans?
Yeah, so
Look,
so let me
this
let
is
me
a.
just put it real quick. It's not
Mhm.
about an individual being moral or not. It's about an action being moral or not. The action of supporting the needless exploitation and slaughter of an animal is immoral. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
There you go. So then
Yeah.
it's that if you agree that it is immoral for you to exploit and slaughter a sentient individual, an animal, for something you don't need, then that means you already have the same values that we do. It's just that we
Wait,
follow through
how
with
do you
it.
mean like not need when you can actually use them for food? So you still need them
But
as food.
need, so obviously, if I say that I need to consume food, it doesn't mean that I need to eat the flesh of humans or dogs or cats. I don't need to do that. I need to get nutrition. If I can get nutrition from other sources, then I don't need to kill a human being. I don't need to kill a cat, or I don't need to kill a dog. If I were on this deserted island, though, where I would have no other options but to kill a human being, a cat, or a dog to eat them, I might resort to that because that would be a need. But in the absence of need, and a true need, not a, well, I need it or not, like not a, I think I need it, but an actual need. If there is no need for it, then it is wrong, as you just said, right?
Mm. Okay, I understand that. I mean, I know what you vegans are fighting for, and I actually respect that. And I'm happy for you guys that you care about these animals. But I already know
Could I
what you guys are fighting for. But the thing is, how are you just get? I mean, what are your goals? Like, what
could I
do you
ask
have plans to
why
turn every animals? Do you? I mean, do you have plans to turn every humans to be vegans as well?
could I ask why you respect it but wouldn't support it?
Knowing that you
Uh,
guys don't want to hurt animals. I mean, come on, who wants to hurt an animal? Nobody does it. People these days grew up. I mean, in this generation, we all grew. Not really all, but people grew up
that
knowing that
wasn't my
animals are
question. It
food.
wasn't why you respect it. It is why you
Yeah,
respect
what
it
I'm
but
saying
not
is
support it.
I respect you guys and support you guys. I mean, not supporting you guys literally, but I am happy for you guys that you guys care about the animals. That's what
But you
I'm
don't.
happy for you guys.
Do you
I
care about
do care
animals?
about animals. I do care about animals. But the thing is, I know myself that they're food too.
Wait, so you
Okay,
care about animals, you know that animals can be food. Do you acknowledge that people can also be food?
Come again? People
Do
can
you
also be food.
acknowledge, yeah, can humans be food?
To some other people, of course. I mean, to other people because cannibalism exists. To some tribes, they do. That's
There you
what they
go.
believe.
Yeah, so you acknowledge that humans can be food. You acknowledge animals can be food. You seem to think then, would you say giving respect to humans would you be giving respect to humans if you were to be killing humans for something in the same situation that you would be doing to animals, like just because you can or just because you want to?
Well, they're animals. I mean, we're not talking about human because when you kill a human for food, then that's murder because that's in the law, of course. So when it's an
Say
animal,
outside of
then that
legality. Outside of the legal repercussions, you are in a place where
of
it's not illegal to kill humans or something. I don't even
if
care.
it's illegal to kill an animal, then no one's gonna do it, of course. But if
No,
it's
no. The
legal, then
question
that's
is
why people
if
do it.
it's the question is okay, well, let me ask you this, dogs, but before we go to humans, even dogs. Do you support the idea of killing dogs?
Oh no! To be honest, I live in the Philippines, and people here, it's dogs, and not
But you don't.
all, not all. I don't, of course, no.
So why not? Why don't you eat dogs?
Because I believe some animals have purpose in life, okay? Well, people uses
Who
dogs for guards, okay? They guard people. If people think, "Oh, I shall not kill this because I can use this dog as for something like this," then probably just because of that. They have some other great use than being food like that.
So they are served as slaves rather than serve as a food source is the
Yeah,
reason that
if
you would
that's
not
what
eat.
you want to feel, but I believe dogs have better use than being food, and that's what people thought of, like probably grew up to them that they can be used as guards, some family like that. Yeah.
So okay, so you believe that dogs are slaves, not food. Okay.
No, they're family.
Wait,
Because
wait, wait, wait,
dogs
wait, wait.
guards you
But
and helps you.
what about a Chihuahua? A Chihuahua could not protect a family. A Chihuahua could theoretically be part of a family. Would it be okay to exploit and slaughter a Chihuahua?
No way, because a Chihuahua can actually help you, like being an alarm when you go near to someone's house. The Chihuahua would bark.
Let's imagine.
Sorry,
Okay, let's
can I
imagine.
say something? Are you only
Yeah.
looking at
Go, go.
animals through the lens of what they can do to you?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again?
Are you only looking at animals through the lens of what they can do for you and not as in on themselves, right? Do you understand what I'm
as
asking?
humans, if so, you're asking me if I think animals are just like for the use of a human, like for humans.
No, I'm just
to
asking.
use
When you
for
look
their
at an
lives?
animal, are you immediately
Mhm.
thinking, what can it do for me? And if it can't do anything,
Oh,
it
no,
doesn't
no,
have
of
the
course
right
no.
to exist.
No, of course no.
So tell me,
Some animals
tell me, give me an example of when you look at an animal and you're not thinking about exploiting them, and which animal is it?
Okay. Let's see birds. When birds fly, most people don't really catch them for food that much. Some people just take picture of them and let
No,
them go.
let's talk about yourself. Please give me an example when you looked at an animal and you didn't think, oh, what
Mm-hmm.
can it do for me?
A bird, of course. What can it do for me? I would never think of that until a bird. I just see them fly and who cares? Just leave them alone.
Yeah, exactly. Why don't you do that for the rest of the animals?
Because I know the other purpose of the animal. Because we grew up
But
eating
the bird
chickens,
doesn't have a purpose.
cows.
But the bird flying around doesn't have a purpose. Why do other animals need to have a purpose for you? Why do other animals have to do something for you?
Yeah, because that's where we grew up. We knew that
No.
chickens.
Let's
can
not
be
talk
food
about
and-
where you grew up. Please tell me, how can you look at a sentient animal and say, well, what can it do for me? But you can look at another sentient animal and don't have that thought. What is the difference between a chicken and a wild bird that makes it okay for you to look at a chicken and say, I'm going to slit her throat to make her into food?
I want to address something.
Okay.
I want to address something real quick. Like, we understand that you've got brought up into a system where, like, the system told you it's okay to do these things. We're asking why.
Oh, okay. Well, first, let me answer her question first. First of all, oh wait, sorry, you were saying?
No, my question is kind of similar to Post's question. That's all.
Okay. So
It was a
first,
connection.
okay. Well, so, what's the difference between a chicken and a bird? Well, like what I said, people grew up. Well, it's easier for humans to catch chickens. Well, if you use a bird as a food, you can more likely not catch it. So yeah.
Do you understand you're making an
that's my
error there?
POV.
Do you understand that you're making an error, that nobody catches chicken, they're bred? So they're bred into captivity, right?
What does that mean?
Chickens are bred into captivity. There are like a bunch
They
of
are-
hens and roos, right? They're put together to fuck, and then the chickens put out eggs, and then those eggs go to hatchery, and the eggs are hatched. Nobody's catching a wild chicken. Yeah.
Okay.
So my
wait,
question is now, though, the individual. Look at the individual animal, a chicken. Why is it okay to slit her throat for unnecessary stuff, right? Why do you immediately go to thinking, oh, that's an object I can exploit?
Why do you mean by unnecessary? I mean, yeah, it's unnecessary to kill a chicken because there's a lot of things that you can eat.
That's what
rather
I mean
than just
by
killing
it.
a
It's
chicken.
unnecessary. You could eat plants instead.
Yeah, but I don't think it changes my decision
think
though.
the
So
only
what is that
necessary-
difference? What is that difference?
because chicken tastes good and better
Okay, so
than
it's
plants.
taste pleasure, right? Do you think it's taste pleasure is a good justification for slitting somebody's throat?
No.
Then why do you
I would
pay
go
for
as far to
chickens to
say
be done to them?
any sensory pleasure.
Because
Like
I
any
believe you
sensory
can find.
pleasure.
Yeah, I know. I mean, yeah, it's better to eat plants than eating chickens if that's what you think. Because when you kill chicken, I know a chicken should not lose its life just for your food.
Exactly. So why
So,
aren't you vegan yet?
because I grew up in a family eating meat.
Well, now you're grown up and you can stop doing that. Now that you actually realize that it's immoral to kill a chicken for unnecessary food.
I also want to address something here. Many vegans, including Post, did you grow up eating meat?
Yep. Grew
There
up
you
eating
go.
chickens. Chickens are from our backyard. Saw the
Same.
chickens being slaughtered as well.
So it doesn't matter how you got brought up.
Okay, so if I eat meat, what does that make me?
Well, that doesn't matter.
That doesn't
You
matter.
yourself
It doesn't
said
matter.
that it's immoral, right, to kill a chicken for unnecessary food. So you make your own, predictions of what it makes you when you go and knowingly pay for a chicken to have that throat slit for unnecessary stuff. You tell me what it makes you.
Yeah, it makes a person immoral then.
Shouldn't you
It makes your
change when
decisions
you
immoral. It makes your
That's what- that-
decisions immoral.
Yeah.
Do
Okay.
you
Well, if that's what it
generally-
is.
Yeah, do you generally strive to be like a moral person? Do you think it's one of your goals in life?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. Then maybe you
When you're a
should be
religious
vegan,
person
right?
as well.
You should be vegan, right?
Vegan?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask, do you guys believe in God?
Doesn't
No,
matter.
wait. You were asked a question. You acknowledge that it is immoral to exploit and slaughter sentient beings. You've been asked so many questions. You said it's immoral to kill a chicken when you don't need to. So right now, you're saying that you do all this. Are you acting morally when you're doing all this?
Acting morally doing what?
Supporting the
Eating.
needless exploitation of sentient beings, aka chickens, cows, pigs, etc.
Well, to me, I believe that eating meat is an exploitation, to be honest.
I mean, why
Well,
are
I'm
we
asking
going
you-
down this road? You already said that it's immoral.
What is exploitation to you? What is exploitation?
You already
Well,
said
hold
that
on,
it's
hold on,
immoral.
hold on. You said you
Wait, is it just the
respect
same word?
vegans. Said you respect vegans for what they do. So you obviously just contradicted yourself completely because you went from saying I respect vegans for not wanting
guys.
to exploit animals,
Yes.
but now you were saying I do not believe that eating meat is exploiting. So that is a complete contradiction because you wouldn't
Yeah,
respect us
because you
for.
guys, yeah. Well,
Yes,
you guys
guys,
are
I
good
come
people
back.
because you guys don't. You guys don't eat meat because you believe that animals have a life that they shouldn't lose it. So, yeah, I guess I'm immoral, but I don't know.
Well, we're just
Guys,
we're not saying
I find
moral.
you.
Hold on. We're not saying moral or immoral. We're just saying you're a hypocrite based on your own values.
Wow,
It's
hypocrite.
I would like to address something if you don't
What's
mind.
going on here?
I would like to
No, you
address
have to
something.
wait.
You got you.
You have to wait. You have to wait. We're talking to somebody else.
I just want to quickly
Well,
finish.
you're all talking to someone from one group.
I'm about to finish. Just real quick.
Okay,
The person we were talking to, would you agree you're a hypocrite?
A hypocrite in terms of what? Like what?
In terms of your own values.
He's not hypocrite.
No, I'm not a hypocrite. I'm just telling I respect you guys because this is your opinion, and
No,
I'm
no.
happy for you guys that you don't want to
That's
kill
not the
animals.
point.
But what's the point? What's the point? Tell me what's the point.
Hold on, just
Go,
real
Felix.
quick, because Axel addressed exactly the hypocrisy in your own values.
Okay,
Would you
tell me what's the hypocrisy again?
Axel, go ahead.
Okay, so you said that you respect vegans for not wanting to exploit animals, and you agree that it is more moral to not exploit animals. But then you go to you went into saying that eating them for flesh is not exploitation. That is a contradiction. And so it is
Okay, I
that
guess I
you are
was wrong with that then. But in my opinion, I respect you guys because you care about animals. Okay?
We don't
And
care.
what I believe
I don't
is
need
it
your
makes me
respect.
moral.
I don't need your respect. I need you to respect innocent sentient beings. Of course, you're going to respect people who choose to not oppress individuals just because they can. It's only normal that you respect them. But do you understand why we cannot respect your choice to exploit and slaughter innocent sentient
Yeah, I do.
beings? You do understand. So
do.
you do understand why
do.
why you are objectively a hypocrite based on what we've established. And do you
Guys, I
understand
want
that-
to leave. I
Okay,
need to
leave.
leave, but I
Leave.
no. I'm sorry. But I already.
Be respectful.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but because I have
No,
to
it's-
leave, I want to just to clarify for what I have been spoken and I claimed. And you told me that if I bring the evidence, I can speak. So
Put
I
it in
show
the
you
chat.
5 seconds.
Wait,
I
wait,
show
also-
you.
wait. Quickly, I need to moderate. We're currently in the middle of a conversation. If you got told
could
to
you
put
just wait your
studies,
turn?
wait, hold on. If you got told to put studies, put them in the side channel, link the person you were talking to them. Thank you. That's all. Yes, Chip, I think you were talking.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, I feel like you say you respect vegans, but you know what? We don't need your respect. All we need is for you to stop exploiting sentient beings. And we as vegans we seem to share the same values as you, which is insane. The fact that we live up to our own values, we just one day woke up and realized, or spoke to people and realized that, you know what, we're hypocrites by us saying one thing and doing another. And you yourself right now is saying one thing and doing another. You say you respect animals, but do another thing. It's just like you going forward. Obviously, we cannot police you what you're going to do. But if you choose to exploit and slaughter sentient beings like you are now, you would be a hypocrite and you would be an oppressor also to those individuals. And you definitely cannot say that you respect animals because you don't.
Okay. Well, before you guys say it, shame on me. And I guess I'm a hypocrite, but I will still continue eating meat. And that, yeah, shame on me.
No, you are not hypocrite, bro. You are not hypocrite.
You're not.
No, me.
No, he's
Yeah, you're
saying
not
he's
a hypocrite.
hypocritical. Don't fucking argue with him. He's right.
Okay,
Anyway,
Yeah, I think I'm
if he makes-
hypocritical, but I will still eat meat because that's what
He
I
is in
believe.
your
And if
view,
it's
but he is not.
wait. And if it's immoral, then I will just ask God for forgiveness.
Okay, guys,
Jesus Christ.
if they claim, hold on, if they claim that they're hypocrites, that's fine. Let them do what they want to. If you guys believe you're not hypocrites for eating meat, talk to us about it. Let's not defend a person who just is talking about themselves. If you want to defend eating meat, you're very welcome to talk to us right now.
But the thing is,
Oh,
when you're
you
speaking to
all
a
guys,
person,
five
there are 7 people
vegans on
speaking to one person.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
trying
now.
to
Just
mod-
claim
It's
one
not
Okay,
thing
okay.
that no one can respond to
when
him.
we want
Hold on,
when we want to talk and say something, you just say shut up and don't talk, and you guys keep on going on him. He's one, and
No.
you guys are 5 or 6. So I
I'm
don't think it's
Okay.
fair.
Wait,
I think
wait.
you're
Yeah,
forcing your ideologies on him, and you make
Yo,
him
that's
a
true.
hypocrite, even
Farco,
though I
That's
don't think
true.
he is.
That's
Farco,
true.
Farco.
I
That's
can
true
explain
because
to you. I can explain
because
to you
because
why.
five
No.
five yeah, five person
Let me
talking
just
to one.
explain real quick. Real quick.
Have to
The
moderate.
reason why it is fair for us three to have a conversation with one individual and not one individual to have a conversation with the other three is because we try to stay on point, we try to address your concerns, and we are looking after your concerns, after your statements. We're not trying to create new statements on their own. Well, sometimes we do, but then we follow through with them and then deal with them. But we, essentially, as the 3 people that we are discussing with you, 4 people, 5 people, doesn't even matter. We are trying to stay on the same subject, on the same discussion, to have you as the point of discussion. We are discussing to you. If somebody else comes in, they will not defend the same idea. You may not realize it, but they will defend a slightly different idea. Every person has a different reason for why they consume animal products, believe it or not. So we're just trying to go through all of them. That's it. It's fair.
And if a non-vegan were to come in and argue the same argument and keep on the same topic, it would be allowed. So if it was just for you to support her and argue the same argument and support that, that would be allowed. It's not like we're saying nobody can speak
Yeah, that's true.
I
Because
I
we are
pref-
trying to support his idea,
yeah.
and you are supporting your friend idea, the vegan
Wait,
supporting the
guys.
vegan, and the opposite.
Guys,
Yes, yes.
we
Sorry.
we don't mind people jumping in and asking questions, but the issue is because of how often we do these conversations with people, we hear the same question over and over and over again. So we usually prefer to have a one person talking to each other rather than multiple people. I understand how everyone is trying to jump in and say something. That's why we have this side channel. And there's actually a lot of vegans right now in the side channel addressing any of the points that you guys have if you can't really talk right now.
Then you can do the same thing with your
Okay,
friends.
okay,
So your
guys.
friends can drop
So
their
can you
replies
stop,
in the
please,
side channel, and
guys?
one person should be talking, the one who's claiming their points.
Yeah, yeah,
Let's
yeah.
not
So
let's stop with this how to have conversations, and let's have the next conversation. And I
yeah,
also
yeah.
You're
need
doing
to,
your
yeah.
conversation
Yeah,
early, so what do you want us to discuss?
I want to
guys,
address. I'm gonna address something because World Creator is trying to say that they've talked to someone and about
I
plants.
talk to you, all of you.
To me?
Not
Okay,
to,
cool.
not to
That's fine. I just want to address that post-mortem, I'm guessing, is looking at your exact articles that you've posted, and I hopefully they'll be addressed in the side channel when post reads them. Okay, so if you have a question, World Creator, you can always type in the side channel to post.
I'm not gonna. Sorry, I'm not gonna have a
what?
conversation in the chat. I won't. I prefer to have like this squid debunk right now, Felix, or maybe do it in a different channel.
Yes.
Would you like to? Yeah.
Yeah, I can do it in a different channel if you think it impedes on the conversation here.
Do it here. It's a
Okay.
good thing to debunk.
Okay, so speaking of communication, so plant communication doesn't mean that they are conscious. So my phone let me please address all of your points. So my phone communicates with my computer. That doesn't mean that my phone is sentient. This is the first and the last link as well. Also plant communication. None of those articles, by the way, make the claim that plants are conscious. So this is the closest one, right? This article, the second article, it's a quest to cognition in plant neurobiology. So this specific paper is debunked by the way, I'm showing everything in my share so you can follow it. The second one is debunked specifically in this article about plant sentience. It's debunking all the theories on plant sentience. Basically by saying on a cellular level they can't be sentient because the plant neurobiology, quote unquote, to which we'll come soon, it does not allow quick transference of information between one cell to another. And that's one of the prerequisites of consciousness. Another one is like a brain and a nervous system, and plants just don't have that. So the second one, I would need to read into like a little closer to it, but it also doesn't make the claim that plants are conscious. So kind of weird situation here. This is just like, I don't even know what this. So you see how the plants can speak. The speak is in parentheses, right? In quotes. So that means that it's a metaphor. Plants can't actually speak. They don't have mouths. And therefore, this also is not a good indication of sentience. Plants have some kind of communication. Again, it's just like my phone communicates with my computer, doesn't mean it's sentient. Also, plant neurobiology puts it in quotes. This means that they know it's not actual neurobiology. But even if you had actual neurobiology, like actual neural pathways in a plant, you'd still need a brain for it to become conscious. And plants just don't have brains. And the last one we admitted, so it's again communication. So I'm going to put in the chat this paper that debunks all of these things, because I think it's a very important paper to read, to see that plants are not conscious, unfortunately. I wish they were. I wish it would be like an interesting world, right?
Okay, nice, very nice. You're dressing very nicely. I respect that. It's a good thing. Well, for example, if you're talking about the first, like the last research is saying about speak, they're just making simplifying for the kids. Because if you read the article, they're trying to simplify that tax and the studies to the kids.
Yeah,
that's
but
the first
do
one.
they make a claim that plants are consciousness?
That's a study.
Let him
Yeah,
finish.
please let me finish. As I finish, I'll let you finish. So that's the first one. Second, if you know about neurobiology, what is neurobiology? If you're studying science and you're studying, for example, basic biology, well, understanding the neurobiology has something that it has been sensitive. For example, if you're being angry, that needs to be a neurobiology to reach it to some organs. For example, if from specific organs to another organs. So if you're talking about unconscious
I
and
addressed this
unconsciously,
though. This
wait,
doesn't
wait,
matter.
let me finish. Let me
But I
finish.
addressed this. You
Let me finish.
literally
Let me
weren't
finish.
listening.
Let
Hey,
him
I
hey,
finish.
I'm
addressed this.
respecting
Let
you.
him finish.
I'm
Be respectful.
respecting you.
You're not respecting
by
me because
letting
you weren't
you
listening
finish,
when I
but you are
addressed
not
it.
letting me finish one sentence. You
I'm
are
not
not
gonna
letting me
let you
finish
talk
one
bullshit
sentence.
after I said
What the hell
neurobiology
is
doesn't
this?
matter.
Stop
Even
talking
if
and drop
plants
your
What the hell
ideas
have
is
in
this?
the
it,
chat. Stop
it
and
doesn't
drop
mean
your
they're
What
ideas in
kind
the
of
conscious.
chat.
hypocrites is that when you're talking to a person that he's a hypocrite, but now you are saying that you are very respectful?
I'm not saying
No?
I'm very
So,
respectful. I don't need to
let me
respect you
finish.
because you clearly
So let
showing
me
No, you are
finish.
not.
disrespect
So
to
let me finish.
when I
If
was
you have
listening.
a quote about what I'm saying,
When I was
let me
talking, you
finish,
weren't
and then you're
listening,
dressing.
right? When I was talking, you weren't listening. When I said that,
Guys,
when I was talking, you weren't
I'm.
listening. When I said
Who?
that
Who?
even if they
What did
had
I say, bro?
neurobiology,
Guys, what the hell?
Okay, hold on. Let me just moderate real quick. Okay, world creator. What were Post's points about the studies that you posted, or well, the articles under studies? Could you at least answer that for me, please?
What you said?
What were the post-mortem points about what you showed?
I didn't understand your question. Can you simplify it?
I'm asking you. You were listening to post-mortem, yes?
Post-mortem.
Yeah.
that's
Were you
me.
listening?
I'm postmortem.
Post-mortem. Okay.
Yeah. You were listening
never
to
read
post-mortem, yes?
Yes.
Okay. What did they address? Could you just give me the key points?
Okay. Okay. First of all, she's discussions about my studies, and she's trying to make the quote, for example, about speak, for example, and she's saying this is a quote, you know,
Okay.
and it's not being.
World
First
creator.
of all,
What
first
was my?
one
Hold on.
point,
Hold on.
one
This
point.
is really
Yeah,
important.
yeah, that's one.
What was
One of
my
them.
question?
Second, yeah, the second thing is she's saying that the planets does not have a conscious. You know, that means if they are have if they have neurobiology, but unfortunately that does not mean that they are have a conscious, because if she has, if it's the tree have a brain, that means okay, and she wished to have it, you know. But this is studies. It's not about wishing and stuff like that. This is showing the proof that if you are taking stuff, anything that it's emotional, it's a neurobiology. If you take something from the tree or you touch it, or it has emotion, feelings, and there
Sorry,
is a
which of those
treatment. Let me
studies
finish,
makes
please.
this claim?
Because
Which of those studies
I,
makes this claim?
guys,
None of these studies make the claim that
okay,
plants are conscious,
okay.
or have feelings.
Okay.
None of these.
Have a nice day, guys.
Wait,
Well, I
Yes,
swear
you
to
later.
God, I'm tired, guys, because I
I
tried my
actually,
best to be respectful, but
creator,
there's no way.
creator, because I think this is a really important thing to address. Where in your exact studies, including articles, does it say that plants can express thoughts and feelings? Could you highlight or show exactly where it says that plants can be happy, plants can be sad?
Yes, I will show you too, but another research.
I want you to.
But this is, yeah. Okay, I will. But as I did for the neurobiology, I show you that there is some things for the planets. I will show you also these studies that shows you that the trees can be happy, can be sad, can be affected by the environment around it.
Wait. Before
Treatment.
we move to another person, let's just work with this. Highlight or underline anywhere in your studies where it says that plants do and have emotions. Okay.
Okay, I will.
Okay.
But let's talk about the first things about my studies that I'm showing to you
No,
about
no.
neurobiology.
That's the claim.
Because now you are
The claim
interrupting
is
me without finishing my statement. And
Well,
you are
don't,
now
no.
standing
The
with
claim was
because
the claim was
Just
that plants are sentient.
the
So
same
address
as you
that.
are. Keep as a team.
Wait, guys, let's stop. Okay, creator, could you do that for me, please?
Look, man. I respect you. I respect you.
I
But
want to
do
talk
you
to someone
think?
else.
Okay, see. I think you are a respectful man, and I like that your way you task it. But
That's
do you
fine.
agree? I will ask you a question. Do you agree that the interrupting by her is acceptable? Because while I'm speaking and I haven't finished my statement, she just jumping. Is that
Yeah,
acceptable?
I can
Is
answer
that
you this
acceptable?
question. Yes,
No,
the
no, no.
reason
You
why
don't
it's
ask by a
acceptable,
question.
the reason why it's acceptable is because you
Have a
haven't
nice day,
listened to her
guys.
to
I
their
don't.
statements. If you don't
Oh,
listen to
they
what
left.
others
They
are
left. They
saying,
left. They left.
No, no,
Yeah,
no, no,
but
no,
it's
no, no,
still a
finish,
good
finish.
thing
No,
to
no, no, no,
say,
no, no,
so
no, no.
let Chip
She's
say.
doing like this, basically.
No,
Basically,
no, no.
what?
It's
That's what
hold
she
on.
does. See?
Chip was
She's
in the
so
middle
let me
of
distant.
finish.
something.
No, 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 no,
Let me
no.
Guys,
finish what I was saying.
wait.
So
I
what I
just
was
quickly
saying.
want to say, even Chip, hold on. I just quickly want to say, I usually mute the people who are usually the loudest. The person who I mute, who is usually the loudest, as soon as I mute them, the tone calms down. Okay. I would mute Poist if Poist gets very loud and it's one of the loudest people in the VC or whatever. I would do that, but I'm just doing it just to calm down the entire VC room. So let's just move away from that. If you have any issues with moderation, you can address it to me or the moderators about me. But let's move on to another person who have any questions about veganism.
Can I just address one single thing before that?
Sure.
Like, I feel like I'll make exactly the point, not about moderation, but about plants having feelings. First of all, the empirical evidence that was provided as postmortem has proved it is not evidence that plants have sentience. But let's just, you know what, because I'm done with this whole debate thing. Let's imagine that plants do have sentience. Everybody who's listening right now will acknowledge that the animals in animal agriculture, and I hope you do acknowledge that, they are fed considerably more plants than we would otherwise eat ourselves. So thus, when you consume an animal product, you inherently kill more plants aside from the exploitation and slaughter of sentient beings. So it doesn't really matter whether plants have feelings or not. It doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, you are still killing more plants and more animals in the process. So you can always choose to not do that.
But also they're not sentient.
But
also they're
moving
not.
on.
Yeah.
Any questions about veganism? The room is yours.
Yo.
Do whatever you would like. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to debate about whatever you guys wanna talk about. Like, why maybe you can start the conversation with some questions or something, because I don't have anything.
I would say.
Can I do
if
the
you
social experiment on him?
Sure. I was about to say if you could read the channel name or whatever, but sure.
Yeah, so let's imagine, I'm curious. Okay, so you know who Superman is?
Yes.
Okay, so Superman has power over every human being on this planet, right?
Yeah.
Superman is also not human, correct?
Probably.
So if Superman chooses to take one human being off of the face of this planet, one human being, and to put them in their basement where he would be enslaving them and then eventually killing them, would that be moral? He obviously would have the power. He could do it in such a way that that person doesn't even realize that they're being taken. Like he would do it so fast that he would be in the basement instantly. Would that be moral if Superman did that?
For me, the victim, I would say, hey, that's immoral. Don't do it as a victim.
Okay, so if you were in the position of the victim and Superman, a different individual who has power over you, chooses to do so, it would make it immoral. Would it be moral if Superman was doing this for hundreds of years?
Wait, I didn't say it would make it immoral. I would say that I would think so, personally, like just me.
Yeah, according to your values. When we say if something is moral or immoral, we are testing your values. So you're saying it's immoral according to you, correct?
Only if I'm like being like, if I were a victim. I'm not right now, so.
No, so wait, are you saying that if Superman were to take somebody else who's not you, somebody else, whoever else, a stranger on the street, take them in their basement, in Superman's basement, for his benefit, to enslave them and then eventually kill them, would Superman be acting morally when he's doing that or immorally?
Well, I'm in the same power level as the victim there,
That's
so I
not
would
what I'm
say.
asking. If
No, wait, I
Superman...
was gonna reply whether I think it's moral or not. Since I'm
Thank you.
on the same power level and species, etc., as the victim, I would say, hey, that's still immoral, even if it's someone else.
So it's immoral. Okay, thank you. Okay, so if Superman has been doing this for a long time, would that make it moral?
It wouldn't change it, I think.
It wouldn't change it. What if would it change it if Superman was part of the Justice League and in the Justice League they all do it? So in other words, if others are doing it also, would it make it more moral?
It wouldn't change a thing.
Thank you. Okay, so just like Superman is not the same species as a human being, and because he has power, it's immoral for him to abuse his power over other sentient beings, also known as humans, in this situation. If we turn it around, is it moral for us, who are sentient beings who have power over other sentient beings, also known as animals, is it moral for us to do the same thing to them?
Wait, right before we switch to the real life scenario, if you ask anyone in the Justice League what they're doing is immoral, are they gonna say it's immoral or moral?
Yeah, they're gonna say
Anyone?
it's moral. They would say it's
Ah,
moral because to them, they've been doing it the same justifications that people use to exploit animals. They've been doing their whole life. They're not Kryptonian. What do you mean? They're not from Krypton. Therefore, it's okay to exploit them. Same reason as we
so
do with humans.
okay, so therefore let me get this straight. You are telling me that simply the victims will say it's immoral and the perpetrators will say it's moral. That's all you're telling me, correct?
I'm saying that I'm asking you as an observer of this action. I'm not asking you as a victim. You as an observer of this thing happening. If you say that it's immoral for according to your own values, you as an observer, you notice that this species of individuals called Kryptonians, which is a Superman, has power over this other species of individuals called humans, and he chooses to exploit and slaughter them just because he can. You're saying it's immoral, correct?
If I'm a Kryptonian observer, I will say it's moral, and if I'm a human observer, I will say it's not moral.
You're just an observer. You have nothing to do with any of them.
I'm not. I'm not related in species or anything to neither of
Any
the
of
two.
them. Yeah.
Oh, then I would literally say I don't have a moral opinion. Like it's kinda whatever.
So you would say it's moral agnostic if Superman would choose to enslave human beings?
No, I'm a human, so from my point of view, it's immoral.
Only because they belong to the same category as you, it's immoral. Otherwise, if they belong to a different category, then it's no longer immoral.
That's what I would say in real life. Like I'm being completely honest. Yes.
Okay, would you acknowledge that this form of discrimination based on categories was prevalent throughout human history and it did some pretty awful things? Can you give me an example of another form of discrimination based on categories?
I don't discriminate on categories as a plural, only on the species one.
Yeah, well, you discriminate based on a certain category. So, can you give me an example of a different form of discrimination based on a different category?
Yes, I'll give you the example of slavery, though I don't think it's okay to discriminate besides the species, but okay.
So racism. So based on race.
Yes.
So it's wrong to discriminate based on race, but it's okay to discriminate based on species.
That's what I think indeed.
Okay, so please explain to me, because you acknowledge that race is a group. It's the race of somebody is not made of one characteristics from DNA, but rather multiple characteristics, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it the same thing for species?
I think for species you are like for race you are still the same species, so like
No. Is a species defined by a group of characteristics coming from the DNA?
Well, I don't care about people's DNA. No, I mean,
Do you understand my question? So I asked the question, is a race a group of characteristics coming from the DNA? And you said yes. And now I'm asking, is a species a group of characteristics coming from a DNA?
I didn't mean it that way. I meant that it's true that the DNA will be different, but that's not the only thing, right?
So I don't know what you mean by the DNA would be different. I'm asking you, like simply, You say racism is wrong, so discriminating based on race is wrong, and discriminating based on species is okay. So I want to understand, based on your logic, how do you know if somebody has a different race or they have a different species?
So yeah, this is the point I wanted to get to. I'm never gonna care about someone's DNA. It's all about what my eyes perceive.
So if they look different enough, you say it's okay to exploit and slaughter them.
Oh no! Oh no!
Please
It
don't.
depends on what you mean by look different enough. You can be my species and look different, and then I'll say no.
If I was born with a birth defect where I just look completely different, I literally the most hairy person in the world, and I literally look more hairy than a gorilla.
But you still came out of a woman's womb, so I would say, hey, you're human.
But
He
if
was
my
born
D
in vitro. He was fertilized in vitro, so he never came off of a woman's womb.
Isn't in vitro just another woman's womb and not your girlfriend or something like that?
This is a special in vitro situation where it was fertilized in vitro, and then it didn't have to be placed in somebody else's uterus to carry on to term. It was just placed in a
look,
special
long
mechanism.
yeah. Long story short, I'm not human. I'm also really hairy.
Okay. No, this is the most important point, whether it was like an actual woman's womb or just a lab. So if you're telling me it's actually unrelated to being developing in like a woman, it's just you were made in a lab, then I would say, yeah, you can kill him, whatever. It's just I would
Wait. So
scared.
if a woman has a C-section, then they don't come through the woman's vagina, do they? Right? They still lived a bit in the uterus.
Wait, I said womb, not vagina.
A womb, so in the uterus.
Look, like in the belly. I don't know. I don't speak that much English.
Okay. So if a human being is fertilized in vitro, and the people who have done this fertilization, the eggs and the sperm that they used, these people cannot find anybody to carry to term. But look at this, there's this new technology that they can help this fetus grow all the way into a baby in a machine. Then that individual is no longer human, and it's okay to exploit and slaughter them.
Wait, did the eggs come out of inside of a woman's belly as well?
Hold on, Chip. I want you to just remember that I think the claim also was from the person, like if they were made in a lab, it's okay to like kill them and enslave them, I think.
Hinter mir Polizeiabigetter vor Augen, ich laufe weg. Denn zu viele Pummel, da habe ich doch dabei, Mann, Gepäck. Ja, sie sind mir zu dicht auf den Füßen, sieht so, dass ich Land
We need to
gewinne.
cry. Yeah, this person.
Das gibt
Listen,
in der
man.
Gebüsch. Ich dachte, ich wäre abgewichst.
Hold on.
In die Tasche voller Jane und der nächste mit.
There you go. I'll take care of it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Might
thank
have
you.
been fucking
Yeah, Chip, I just quickly want to say, I think there was also a point somewhere that if X individual was created in a lab, it's okay to do that to them.
There's nuance, but yeah.
Just like failing to understand what exactly do you think gives moral value to an individual. Let's imagine you have an individual in front of you. You don't know how they were born. You don't know if the eggs came from a woman or they came from being made in a lab. So my question to you is, how do you know whether this individual has moral worth or not?
So since I live in the real world, in my mind, when I'm in the real world, I just think, oh, I'm 100% sure that he's not a lab-made clone. Like I'm 100% sure, so I kinda it's included in when I just by
That's
being
not what I'm asking. I'm
listen,
just
this is the
asking.
answer. It's
I'm just asking
included.
the individual in front of you. You don't know if they're human or not. You don't know. You just don't know.
This is the answer. This is the answer. It's included by me living in the real world that I know 100% they are that kind of human that came out of a woman.
I
Like
just
I know.
explained to you that you don't know that they're human or not.
Be real with me. You know, when you look at people, you know.
I can be real with you. I can pose to you a hypothetical scenario where there's a box in front of you, and in that box there's an individual. You can only tell what this individual is feeling or what kind of experiences they're having. You can choose whether to exploit and slaughter that individual or not, you outside of the box, but you get to never see who's in that box. That individual, you never see them. So you cannot use your eyes whether to judge if that individual has moral worth or not. So my question to you is not ever seeing this individual. This individual is in isolation to you. You can never see them again. How would you judge whether they have moral worth or not?
But does cloning people I'm making in the labs exist in this scenario? Does it exist as a concept?
Doesn't even matter. Maybe yes, maybe no.
I think this is a good. Hold on. I think this is a kind of like a good question. Let's say we have two individuals. One, it was like a social experiment. One came from the woman, and one came from a lab. They literally are twins. They look identical, right? How would you discriminate?
It would be so. Let's finish. I will answer this one, but let's finish with the point about whether I judge people when I look like on the street whether they have value. Like
No,
my
no,
answer.
you don't see them. I'm telling you, you
No,
know of
yeah,
this
I will answer
individual, you know how this
to both.
individual feels,
I
but
just
you
want to answer to both because you asked me this one previously.
please answer this one first, since you said you want to answer it, and then the other one.
No, yeah, but I want to go in order of what I got asked, if I could. So, like, my point earlier was that I know in this real world it doesn't exist to make people in
No,
labs.
it exists. No, wait for a second, because that's wrong. That's where you're wrong. It does exist. You don't know if I exist. You don't know if you see me, if I exist. You just hear a communication thing. What I'm asking you is you wouldn't even hear my communication. You would just see that you just know of this individual. They're in a state where you cannot possibly see them, and you cannot possibly communicate with them unless you only know how they feel. So my question to you isn't.
Wait, I said I was not answering that one question where I cannot see them. I said I was answering a previous one that you asked. So previously you asked me, like, how do you judge people's value then? And I said that I don't judge it because I know cloning doesn't exist in real life. That was the previous question.
Okay, fair. Now answer this question, please. So in front of you, there's a box. Inside of that box, there's an individual. You cannot communicate with that individual, and you can only see if that individual has which emotions they have. You can only understand their emotions. Are you going to give that individual moral worth or not, and why?
Do I know the species?
No, you just see that they're an individual and how they feel.
Oh, I would. So what is gonna happen to them if I don't give them moral worth? Like they're gonna die or
They're
something?
going to be exploited and slaughtered.
Okay, I would give them like I would choose for them not to be exploited because it could be a human, right? It could be, so I would choose.
Okay, what if I told you it can never be a human being?
Then I would choose not to give them value.
Okay, so you don't give values to dogs, to cats, to any of these animals.
Well, I'm kind of generalizing when I say the word not give them value. There is a really tiny value that I do give to every single species of animals. It's just like small.
Do you
Sorry.
think? Just real quick, do you think we should at least give like respect to animals to just like let them do whatever we want to? No, sorry. The other one. Let them do what they want to do. Like, should we just like just let animals do whatever they want to do?
Like, do I
relax,
think they
chill.
all should be doing what, like, we shouldn't make them not do
If we
what they
don't
want?
have to harm them, should we just let them, chill and do whatever they want to do? Like, for what I'm trying to say, it's if animals live a peaceful life and they don't need to be harmed, should we not harm them? Should we avoid harming them?
This is gonna surprise you because most carnists in this chat would say like, no, still you can harm them. I'm gonna say no, you cannot.
Okay, cool. Chip, go ahead.
I feel like we reached the point, and I think every conversation now has to be this because it just cannot be in any other way, apparently. No matter how I tried the social experiment, but you just want to go into that direction, so I'll just come out and say it. What exactly does a human being lack? Sorry, what exactly does an animal lack? That means it doesn't have. That if a human being also didn't have it, it would make it okay to exploit and slaughter them.
So basically, humanity.
So if a
Oh.
human being, what is humanity? Please define to me this quality that an individual can have.
Being a human.
No, that doesn't work. You understand that, right? I'm asking you, what is the trait? That's not a trait. You putting them in a certain category is not a trait. Do you understand that?
It's I understand it's not a singular trait. It's like a combination, but all of them
No, it's
are
not even a
required.
combination. It's just a category. So I'm asking you right now, what is it about a human being that if I remove it from them, it makes it okay to exploit them?
So can I say multiple traits?
Sure.
I'm sure. I'll write them down.
I mean, so what I want to say is that all of the traits have to be missing for me to be okay with the thing dying or the animal dying, whatever. They have all these traits. If you want to kill the being, they have all to be missing. So I will list a few traits.
Okay, so all the traits. So if they don't have if they have only one of them, they already have a value. But if they don't have any of them, they no longer have value. Okay, shoot.
Yes. So they have to have come out of a woman's body.
That's not a trait. Come on, we've went through this.
No, that's literally a trait you can have.
It's not a trait. You coming out of a female's body is not a trait.
Wait, if
It's
I accidentally birth a if I'm a surrogate to like a monkey, you would value that monkey?
What do you mean?
Yeah, if a monkey sperm and a monkey egg is taken and they are like combined the way in IVF sometimes, right, from a man and a woman is taken and combined together, and then they are implanted in me, and then I push that being that is like a monkey through my pussy, I give birth to them. Are you gonna start valuing that monkey?
As I said, since you are having a trait that I mentioned, I won't be okay with your death.
Sorry?
I won't be okay with the being dying because it has a trait I mentioned. So it's not okay if they die.
So, but wait, let me say this then. So if a human being was not born from a female, then they are okay being killed?
I was mentioning more traits, as I said, there are multiple.
Okay, go on. Let's move on.
We can deal with this straight now. Chip is asking a really good question. If we find a way to bring forth human beings that don't come through a human pussy, aren't birthed by a female human being, are you gonna stop valuing them?
I don't think you understood what I meant by multiple traits. If you,
He said all of them.
Yeah, but if we debunk one of them, then it's already like lost. Then you can't use that trait.
I will value them for a different reason. So that's why.
Let's just list all the traits. Let's list all the traits. Let's say.
Another reason that I could be not okay with you dying would be having what now is considered human DNA.
No, that's not. Do you see what you're doing? Do you see what you're doing? That's if I ask you, like if I ask a racist person, why does a white person have more moral value than a black person? They could literally list the same reasons as you. They were born from a white female. They have a white person DNA. These are not traits. Do you understand that? These are not traits. These are all just categories.
Listen, I don't think the issue is whether they're traits or not, because I do think they're traits. I think the issue is that naming traits doesn't prove or disprove anything. I think this is the issue.
Let me give example of what traits would be like. Sentience would be a trait. The ability to feel a subjective experience, the way like being able to see the color yellow is a trait. Those are kind of just examples. So like that's kind of what we are like what we're asking. Like
what I'm trying to say is that that's a trait that you hold value to, So it's like the racist holding value to a different trait. I'm trying to say that naming random traits does not give anything or take value from anything, which I was mentioning traits, but you want to say they're not traits. Why? Because you are realizing that just because I name or don't name traits, it
Okay,
doesn't
let
mean anything.
me rename it. Phenotypes. Do you know what a phenotype is?
Well, phenotype, I guess it's a combination of traits, right?
Yeah, so phenotype is a combination of traits, as you said. Yeah, a trait or a combination of traits that are coming either from their DNA or the environment or the physiological or physical characteristics of an individual. So please mention phenotypes. Let's be clear.
Also,
and born from a female is not a phenotype.
Also, Chip, if you want to be helpful for the person, you can just steel man his argument and trying to make it a little bit easier for them to kind of understand why saying this is wrong. But
Yeah, guys, I'm done. That's it. I can't do it anymore. It's been 4 hours, so that's enough. But you can go watch it, continue watching that brain dead conversation on Chip's stream if you want. Chris, you're welcome to email me if you want to have like an actual debate. Sounds like you have a lot to say. I haven't read much of your comments because I was concentrating on something else. But you're welcome to send me a proposition to my email, and we can have a person-to-person discussion. If that's something that sounds like a thing. Chris is a fool. Well, we can give you full live for everybody to see. All right. Thank you very much for everybody for coming. Just that last thing, just that last bit, if you could. Oh, Jeremy, so unfortunate that you are getting here. Right as I'm about to leave. Oh, you've been here for a while. Sorry, I haven't seen you. So just hit that like if you can, please. Even after the stream, if you can share it, that would be lovely. Yeah, see you next time, guys.